Hi there. Welcome to the AM show. Today is the 22nd day of July 2025. We're just days away to the end or from the end of the first month in the second half of 2025. And before Kojo sprinkles his inspirational quotes on you this morning, I just want to say, if yesterday wasn't good for you, if yesterday was terrible, today is another day. Guess what? Today might be better if you choose to do better. Kojo, I'm Sweetie Abochi, by the way.
Well, I am Samuel Kojo Brazen, and I'm going with Sweetie Abochi then, because you know what? I mean, if you had bad days the previous day, it doesn't mean that it will follow the next day. So today, you have a right or the opportunity to make right what you got wrong yesterday. So today, we're sticking with what Sweetie is telling us. Use that time well and make sure that you're able to right the wrongs of your yesterday.
On that note, let's tell you what to expect this morning. It's a 4-hour packed show, the AM show, and the first item on our order is the AM news, which comes with the business update. And right after that, we'll bring you AM sports. You know that the news review comes right up next. And Wanda Madilo is a development analyst. He will join us. Awal Mohammed is from the NPP Communications Directorate. He also joins us. And our very own Afel Moni. He's former president of GJA. So we have 3 gentlemen today to help us review the newspapers. What's happening in our big stories?
Well, startling revelations from the Defense Ministry, who say thousands of ammunition from the military is unaccounted for through irregular transfers to national security. What does this mean for the security of a state fraught with the proliferation of small arms and a national security whose operations have often been a subject of public scrutiny? We delve into the matters. Plus, over 2,000 persons whose status of employment into the military hangs in the balance as the Defense Minister lays blame on previous government failing to take them through training.
Well, these and all the related matters are up for discussion this morning because yesterday the Defense Minister took his turn at the Government Accountability Series. So all the fallout will be discussed this morning, and we are inviting you to actually join us with your comments and thoughts across all social media platforms. We are Joy News on TV, and the AM show is sponsored by Syntex Tanks. Syntex Tank, air strong, air tough. You want to stay with us because coming up next, we get into the AM News. This is the AM News on the Joy News channel, on your digital terrestrial channel, on DSTV channel 421, GoTV 125, around the world on myjoyonline.com. Details now. In a bid to address growing concerns over security in forest areas, tensions have risen between the government and University Teachers Association of Ghana, that is UTAG. The Defense Minister has stepped forward to defend the government's efforts, arguing that progress is being made in tackling challenges in these regions. His statement comes in the wake of UTAG issuing a stern 3-month ultimatum to the government, demanding tougher measures to address the situation in forest areas besieged by various issues. UTAG insists the commitments made in the National Pledge against illegal mining must be honored in full. And Professor Amadou Akudugu is the national president of UTAG.
The time has come for us to really take this issue of Galamsey seriously. And it appears that we just talk and then we'll go back to bed, sleep, and then the business continues as usual for those illegal miners.
Right.
So we strongly, after reviewing what the government has done over the past 6 months, we strongly believe that we needed to remind His Excellency the President of the commitment he made prior to becoming the President of the Republic.
That's the president of UTAG there. But Dr. Manibuama maintains significant progress has been made, citing military-led recoveries of forest reserves, Navy-backed river operations, and the launch of a 24-hour waterway surveillance initiative under the Blue Water Guard program. He was speaking at the Government Accountability Series.
The Navy's riverine operations along
The Volta River, like Operation Oasis in Bui, also assisted in reducing the effects of illegal mining on the Black Volta. To strengthen security along Ghana's inland waters and riverine areas, government launched the Blue Water Guard training program in 2025 this year. The Blue Water Guard initiative aims to establish 24-hour monitoring of Ghana's water bodies. It is a strategic intervention to tackle illegal mining activities, protect the environment, and restore Ghana's polluted water resources. The first batch of 453 personnel were trained by the Ghana Navy at the Forward Operating Base at Ezinlimbo.
In other stories, hundreds of basic school pupils in Techiman are now mastering math with lightning speed through the Smart Maths Abacus program. At the 3rd Regional Abacus Championship in Bamiri, organizers called for government support to expand the initiative, calling it vital for children's mental development as education officials backed the appeal with the call for increased enrollment next year. Anas Sabit has a story.
In the heart of the Techiman metropolis and the wider Bono East region, a remarkable initiative is shaping the mental arithmetic skills of young learners. The Smart Maths Abacus program, now in its 3rd edition, is making waves in selected schools, promising to enhance the cognitive abilities of students through the ancient yet powerful tool, the Abacus. Today's competition isn't just a test, it is a celebration of mental agility. Program's coordinator, Boadu Haruna, says the Smart Maths Abacus program is turbocharging mental math skills across Techiman schools.
Doing this program, you bring children from different schools around to come and meet to compete. So it builds their confidence level whenever they meet their colleagues in different schools. And therefore, in mathematics per se, since you use mathematical numbers, the numerals for the mathematics, when a child is able to solve this 1 + 2 - 1 and give answer, when he sees these same numbers in mathematics, he's able to gather confidence and do it and do away with math phobia.
The enthusiasm is infectious. Even regional education leaders are taking note. Stephen Edu is the representative of the Education Directorate. He calls this a game changer.
Yes, it's quite interesting. The program is interesting, and I was happy seeing my younger ones actively involved in these mathematical activities. Most teachers themselves even fear mathematics, and so while these children are happily working, I was also motivated, and it will also serve as a basis of foundation for the study of STEM, that is science, technology, engineering and mathematics education.
For educators like Stella Todare, whose school joined the competition this year, the impact is undeniable. She is already planning to double participation next year.
As I came here, I witnessed a lot of things, what the children are doing, and I'm highly impressed. I've seen the children doing very well, and I know next year we'll be here in our number as we have witnessed what is going on here.
Some of these participating pupils share with Joy News how the Smart Maths Abacus has improved their speed and accuracy in solving mathematics questions.
The Smart Maths has improved my life so much in a way that during my math calculations, because of the Smart Maths, I can calculate fast and better, and it has improved my speed and my accuracy in calculating.
Hannah Sabit, Joy News. Techiman.
From Techiman, let me take you to the Central Region, where Representative for Non-Communicable Diseases Control at the Ghana Health Service, Dr. Pakwesi Moses Reko, has proposed that Ghana explore the possibility of producing its own vaccines as a sustainable measure against virus-related diseases. His call comes amid ongoing mpox cases and a resurgence of COVID-19 in the country. Speaking at the National HPV, Dr. Reko emphasized that local vaccine production would strengthen the country's long-term response to such health threats. Abigail Salim Kruma has more in the story.
The National HPV Forum of the Federation of Ghana Medical Students Association, FGMSA, was on a theme, Together We Can, Ending Cervical Cancer and Other HPV-related diseases, one step at a time. Hilton Terry Danso-Kese, the National Health Officer for FGMSA, shares an overview of the forum.
Cervical cancer is the second most common cancer that affects women, and it's preventable and treatable. So if HPV is addressed, we're able to address HPV. There is a way of eliminating cervical cancer. There is a target that we are supposed to reach as a country. By the year 2030, we are expected to vaccinate females that are aged from 9 to 14 years, 90% of them. But as it stands now, we don't have a publicly funded vaccine. And for that matter, we are here to continue with the advocacy. Lo and behold, Ghana has received the first consignment of vaccine for HPV, and we are hoping that by September, when we are climaxing this entire project, we will be able to ensure that the rollout of the vaccine it's become a reality.
The Central Regional Representative for Non-Communicable Diseases Control at the Ghana Health Service, Dr. Pakweku Moses Rekun, is suggesting that Ghana considers producing its own vaccine as part of a long-term sustainability plan.
The sustainability of it, yes. So maybe in the long term, okay, one thing I can say is that maybe we have the vaccine, National Vaccine Institute. So we should be thinking of producing our own vaccine so that when we don't get the external vaccines coming in, we have our own.
The country ambassador for the International Papillomavirus Society Ghana chapter is Professor Dorcas Obriebwa. She added her voice to the call for men to join the campaign against cervical cancer.
In terms of the transmission of the virus, men are involved. And if you take that aside, you will realize that the WHO indicates that 1 in 3 men are infected with HPV infection. 1 in 3 men. So this is something that the men are also involved.
The combat against HPV-related diseases is intensifying, and the president of FGMSA, Otis Mbayuru Ngoga, is sharing the Federation's advocacy plans.
As part of our advocacy, what we are doing is to do a lot of media engagements, to do a lot of school engagements. Our target group for now is women and then the general population as large. And we are calling all the media houses to come on board. And even the influencers as well, the social media influencers, realize that that is a new way to reach out to the populace. And we're also calling for a national vaccination and screening program. We are aware there is one currently, the pipeline for vaccination, but we know that it's for a targeted population. We are only calling on government to make it an expanded program. Hopefully by the end of this year, we would see the program come to fruition.
From UCC, Abigail Lisel Nkrumah reports for Joy News.
In a shocking expose at the Government Accountability Series, Defense Minister Dr. Mane Boama unveiled a mystery shrouding the Ghana Armed Forces' arsenal. Thousands of arms irregularly transferred from the Ghana Armed Forces to national security cannot be accounted for. Speaking, or it's sparking urgent calls for clarity. Dr. Mane Boama revealed that the Ghana Armed Forces has formally petitioned the National Security Secretariat to probe this breach of military protocol. With a pointed reference to past governance, Dr. Mane Boama pledged that the John Mahama-led administration will not allow such lapses in military logistics to go unaccounted for. Let's tell you more.
But the reality is that to date, those ammunitions have not been accounted for. How the Ghana Armed Forces could transfer ammunitions to national security that doesn't have a fighting force in 2024 is a question that will definitely have to be answered. The Ghana Armed Forces has passed it on to the National Security Secretariat for the National Security Secretariat to investigate it since they were the recipients of the ammunitions. But what we are doing is, under our watch, under our watchful eyes, any such incidents will not be dealt with like the way it was handled in the past. So whilst we have encircled this and handed it over to national security for national security to handle, whatever will fall within our domain from January onwards, trust that we will deal with it the way the military knows best.
Dr. Mane Boama also disclosed details on recruitment into the armed forces. He said the most recent recruitment drive took place in October 2021. However, findings from an internal audit reveal a striking discrepancy. 2,872 potential army recruits who completed the entire selection process were not trained under the previous administration.
It is important to report at this stage that the last recruitment exercise for soldiers, non-officers, so the soldiers go to the army recruit training schools and the various training schools, the officers will go to the Ghana Military Academy. So I'm done with the officer career. I'm now moving to the soldiers. It is important to report, let me repeat, at this stage, that the last recruitment exercise for soldiers, non-officers, was conducted in October 2021. However, the audit has revealed that 2,872 Army potential recruits who successfully completed all required processes, including documentation, medical examinations, and vetting, are yet to undergo training. Meanwhile, my visit to the Army Recruits Training School just last week disclosed the fact that the Army Recruit Training School has not been training recruits over the past 17 months.
Now, the Ghana Air Force will soon commence construction of an Air Force base in the Savannah region to provide air support in combating security threats and facilitating logistics in safeguarding the Bui Hydro Dam, among others. Following an inspection of the project site at Jogboi, near Bamboy, the Tactical Air Command at Bui called for community cooperation to expedite the completion of the air base, with the prospect of also stimulating economic activity in the central belt of the country. Precious Semevo has more.
Managers of the Bui Power Authority, BPA, briefed the visiting Ghana Air Force Commander, Air Vice Marshal Patrick Ajin Frimpong, and his team on the generation of power after a tour of the hydro dam and the solar farm. The commander, who earlier was at the Tactical Air Command at Bui, also inspected the site for an Air Force base at Jogboi near Bamboy in the Savannah region, with construction expected to start in about 3 months to, among others, aid the protection of the Bui Dam. Commander of the Tactical Air Command, Air Commodore Kwabena Kisiedu Manukwe Atiemu, explains the idea.
Bui Power Authority also in seeking to protect the dam are also very happy assisting us so that we can have an airfield that both facilitates security but also will facilitate logistics. We are hoping to kickstart the actual work on this ground in about 3 months. And then by 2 years from there, we are hoping to have a functional airfield, even though it will not be a permanent runway. Aircraft can come here and land and so on and so forth, and we can position our units here to operate. And then from there, we will begin to build slowly a fully fledged airbase.
He employed the communities to support the project due to its economic benefits.
We are very close to Bamboy. We are very close to Jogboi, and as we work here, we will affect their lives, and so we are very conscious of that, and we only call for the chiefs and the people and the other members of the local community, the assembly, to support us, because much as there will be inconvenience as we develop, in the long run, this is good. It is good for the local economy. It is good for Ghana.
Samuel Nimakobuatin, acting deputy CEO of BPA, expressed confidence that constructing the Air Force base would help halt the Galamsey activities near the Bui Dam River.
These facilities, they are national assets. Security is very, very important here to maintain the assets so that any encroachers are warded off from attacking the facilities. And then we hope that we collaborate with them here to address the issue of Galamsey so that it doesn't stymie the smooth operation of the station.
Precious Semevo, Joy News, Bui.
It was a mix of tears and triumph after a tense showdown as the Asantua Girls Senior High School staged a dramatic final round comeback to edge out Juaben Senior High School in the Ashanti Regional Qualifiers of the 2025 National Science and Maths Quiz. The emotional win ends their brief absence from the national stage. Collins Frimpong has more.
What a wonderful comeback from the girls. Asantua Girls have secured a national championship spot. Last year they missed out. This time around they will be there. And they did it in a marvelous manner. A wonderful comeback for that matter. First round, second round they were trailing. Then the last radio they took advantage of it and they won. And they have qualified with 40 points that you'll be seeing them in the national championship in October in Accra as well as the zonal championship.
We can't say anything, but we say it's been God. We don't know what we did, but God did.
Right. How about you?
Yeah, the same thing. It was all the work of God. Everything that came, it was God that made it come.
Today's contest was amazing. At the end of round 2, we didn't have any hope, but by God's grace, we made it.
And we are coming prepared. That's what I can say. And my girls are so good. This year is different. You kept on, when you were asking them, you kept on saying last year, last 2 years. That's why it's the past. Let's focus on the present. And it's going to be massive. Just look out for Asantua, that's all.
But history, you can never leave out history.
We can't leave out history, but we don't repeat history this year. And we are not repeating it. So just look out for us, that's all.
The Ashanti Regional Qualifiers began today, as we expect 88 schools to compete in the regional qualifiers, and also 22 contests across 6 days, and zonal championship taking place on Monday and Tuesday. That will be 2 days. The Ashanti Region qualifiers began with Kumasi Academy in the mess when they won their contest to secure a national championship spot as well as zonal championship.
Kumaka is coming, and we are here to claim the national and the regional champion. We don't fear any school.
The trophy is ours.
We don't fear Opokuware and OPC. They should wait. We are coming. Zero pressure. Thank you.
Even though we have qualified, but this is the message to all schools. They should watch out because you pound on them like a leopard.
The second contest of the day also took place, with Insutaman SHS and Ejusuman SHS all securing a place in the national championships. Ejusuman SHS came stronger in that particular contest, gaining 46 points.
The only difference that made is that we came in the name of God. So the name of the Lord brought victory to us. That's the difference.
Expect more from us.
Like how?
Expect more from us. I will give to show what you're doing in the school year. So expect more. We'll do more for you.
So are you saying that you are going to win the national championship?
If it's a must, we will. And I know God wants us to be, so we will.
The national championship last year, if you watch our contest, we almost qualified for the 1A stage, but we had a small challenge with the problem of the day. That was what Archbishop Potters used to beat us. So we are going to work seriously on our problem of the day, and we are hoping that we will reach the quarterfinals this year.
My name is Collins Frimpong, reporting for Joy News, Kumasi.
Well, congratulations to the girls. And that takes us into our business update now with Samuel Kujubrace.
Let's do the business update now, but we need to start from what's happening in the currency market. Well, Ghana's cocoa exports have dropped sharply, with volumes falling by over 50% in 2024 compared to the previous year. That's according to the 2024 Auditor General's report, which also revealed that despite the decline, total earnings from cocoa rose by more than 37% due to higher global prices. Winston Taki has more in this report.
Ghana recorded a steep drop in cocoa bean exports in 2024, even though total earnings from cocoa rose significantly. The data shows that Ghana exported 248 tons of cocoa beans in 2024, down from 533,057 tons in 2023, a drop of over 50%. Exports of processed cocoa products like butter, paste, and powder also declined, falling from 240,897 tons in 2023 to 192,429 tons in 2024. Yet, total cocoa export receipts jumped by 37.5% from $1.26 billion in 2023 to $1.73 billion in 2024. This increase was largely driven by higher global prices and steady performance in value-added cocoa products. A major concern flagged in the report was the sharp decline in inflows from syndicated cocoa loans, which are key to financing Ghana's cocoa sector. In 2024, syndicated loan proceeds dropped from $681 million to just $50 million, a decline of more than 92%.
Well, away from that, the government has reaffirmed its commitment to allocate 25% of the District Assembly's Common Fund towards the design and construction of 24-hour economy model market across the country. This initiative, aimed at boosting local-level commercial activity, is expected to expand trading opportunities for small businesses, increase productivity, and drive inclusive economic growth. Speaking at the opening session of the Evidence to Action Conference and Exhibition, the Minister for Local Government, Sanitation and Religious Affairs, Ahmed Ibrahim, highlighted the importance of using evidence-based research in policy making to ensure that such projects are effectively targeted and deliver meaningful impact.
Clearly, Evidence to Action Conference is being held for about 3 days, and I took the opportunity, being the keynote speaker, to speak on some of the government interventions. The government of the President of the Republic is doing a reset agenda where he has directed from Cabinet that we must send 80% of DACF to all metropolitan, municipal, and district assemblies. Based on that, the monies they used to get in a year, they are getting it in the quarter. And there are clear guidelines where we are going to champion the 24-hour economy market. Every ministry is taking part of it, but we are implementing it at the sub-district level. So because of that, we have chosen 24-hour economy market, where 25% of the 80% being given to them is going to be used on that. And you have to build a market that can operate 24/7. So when we come to a university like this, we can cite one here. It will have a pharmacy, it will have a police station, fire station, a banking hall, all the facilities will be there where it can operate 24/7. And that's what we call the 24-hour economy market.
Let's wrap up the business update with what's happening on the commodities market. That's it for the business update. Up next is the AM Sport with
Muftau Nabila Abdullahi. And we are building up to the Joyous Sports Invitational Tournament, and Emigo Ghana producers of Yomi Yogurt. They are targeting 4 trophies in this year's tournament. They were finalists in the football competition last year when the event took place at the University of Ghana Stadium. And their head of marketing, Gifty, says that this year they are here once again to make sure that they walk away with at least 4 trophies.
I can fully appreciate what Yomi can do. You are all nourished. No wonder the energy this morning has been quite incredible. Hey, is this what you do every morning?
This is the energy we get from drinking Yomi yogurt. The good thing is that last year we were poised to win. Okay. Something happened along the line, but it is our strategy that this year we will bring the cup home.
Why are you going to camp your team? Some teams say they are camping at Barcelona, others say they're coming.
In fact, so this is a skeletal team. Okay. The strong team is already camping out there, but we don't want people to sabotage us. So we won't tell you where our people are hiding.
Okay, now let's talk about Yomi. As I mentioned earlier, the energy this morning has been quite incredible. It's explosive. Yomi say it's a nourishing choice. So speak to me about why it is actually essential for everyone to embrace Yomi.
So Yomi yogurt is made of the finest ingredients you can ever imagine. Yomi contains zinc. It contains vitamins of the B complex. Yomi contains milk, and we know that milk is good for strong bones and teeth. The calcium in the milk is for strong bones and teeth. The B complex works on your blood, and the zinc is to boost your immune system. So when you take Yomi, you are sure that you are nourishing your body. And the good thing is that when you put in something good into your body, it reflects on the outside. And that is why we say, make a choice, a nourishing choice today. And if you are out there and you haven't tasted Yomi before, please, this is the time. Run to any convenience shop around you, run to any supermarket around you, and grab a Yomi. And to those who are already drinking Yomi yogurt, we will say, thank you very much. Continue consuming your nourishing Yomi yogurt, and we know that you will be rewarded.
Any final word that you would want to share?
Yes, so the final word is that if they know what is good for them, they will also start consuming Yomi to prepare them for what is ahead on the 9th of August. But for us, we are coming for the cups. Not 1, not 2, not 3, but at least 4. And at the end of the day, what we will say is that come and see what Yomi has done. Come and see.
And indeed, you will have to come and see what Yomi has done on August 9 at the University of Ghana Stadium.
when the Joy Sports Invitational Tournament kicks off. By the end of the day, they say they're walking away with 4 trophies at least. How many trophies do you want to walk away with? You will have to be there for this year's Joy Sports Invitational Tournament. And in fact, the Chief of Staff of the Republic of Ghana, Julius Debra, is going to be there. Have you heard that?
This year,
you have to give him Yomi.
This year, let's watch out for the CEO penalty shootout. Yes, that will be the icing on the cake. Our CEO is not here today. We all know that he goes to train. He's gone. And this time, he's not even training locally. So watch out for him. He's going to score. He's going to bring that CEO penalty shootout cup again, because he's done it before and he will do it again.
This has been Yomi Yogo's build-up to the Joy Sports Invitational Tournament. See you there on August 9th. Thank you very much. Later tonight, the Black Queens of Ghana will be in action in the semi-final of the ongoing African Women's Cup of Nations. They come up against Morocco. Kickoff is 7 p.m. Ghana time. This is the first time Ghana is making it to the semi-final of the Women's Continental Festival in 9 years. And head coach of the team, Kinlas, says that he is very much aware of the threat that will be posed by the host nation, Morocco. There's more in this report by my colleague, Lawrence Beidou.
And so the action gets closer for the Black Queens as they prepare for yet another final at the Women's Africa Cup of Nations. This time they have Morocco on their route. They have Morocco as a stumbling block. Can they go past Morocco? That is the issue. If you look at the numbers between these two sides, they have met 4 times, with each team boasting 2 wins. 2 wins for Ghana in their home country, 2 wins for Morocco as well in their home country. So they have an equal share of the games that they have played. But as far as this competition is concerned, they have not faced each other. Before their final preparations, both sets of teams were at a press conference where Kemlas Björkegram talks about mapping out strategies to ease out the threats that the Moroccans will bring to the Black Queens.
It will not be the best before this game. I still believe in my players. I know that we can do it tomorrow. Very well. It was actually my first game as a coach for Ghana against Morocco. It was a tight game. We had our chances to win the game. In the end, we lost in the last minute, if I remember right. We won 0, but we also saw that we had the chance to win that kind of games as well. I will not talk about specific players in the opponent's team, but of course we know that they have quality in the defense line, in the midfield, and in the attack, and also a decent goalkeeper. But I also know that like all of the teams, they have some weaknesses as well. So we just need to push hard there, and like I said, hopefully have a good game tomorrow.
Sharifatu Sumaila, who is yet to get any taste of minutes in this competition, believes that there's trust in this head coach and are all relying on his tactics.
We trust our coach, and all we need to do is follow the game plan and give everything we got. Some of the players, this is their first tournament, and they have a lot of energy, and it really helps the team. And we try to motivate them and then try to help them with the experience we have, and it's really good for the team.
Now, we wrap up with a story of Adumi Ebua. This is a young man who has a dream of representing Ghana at the highest level of track events, which is the Olympic Games. My colleague, Joseph Ayinga Walter, has been following his story and has details in this report.
Before sunrise, a boy lies awake, counting seconds like chalk on a blackboard. 11 beats, 11 breaths, 11 takes of a dream he keeps rewriting in his head. The dream to compete at Olympic Games.
When I first met Adam, I thought, is this kind of, mommy is forcing me, let me do it, daddy is forcing me, let me do it. So I sat down with him one-on-one and I asked him, are you really love what you are doing? Or mommy is forcing you? He said no, he wanted to do it because he have love for it.
Adam will never walk. I mean, if you send Adam, he's running. You send him to the room, you have to keep repeating, do not run, do not run. I mean, that was him. He was always running towards something. Never know anything at all, any space he gets, he has to run.
I knew he loved to run, and I remember growing up, we used to live in an estate that had a big field, so we would go out to play, and often we would like race back and forth across the field. And then I slowly realized over time that he was getting faster than me, and that was kind of embarrassing as an older sister back then, but now like that's a core memory, and I see like I remember the point where it all started, so that's really cool to see. Yeah.
First time I knew that running was for me was probably when I was 9 years old. I was in Dubai, I was schooling over there, and it was sports day, so I was chosen by my team captains to go represent our team for the 100 meters. So I got on the track, and as soon as they told us go, I mean, I was off. I took off running, and I did win that race. I remember very clearly. It was a big moment for me, and that's what really got me into track, because I knew that was probably one of my bigger talents. So, yeah.
In Ghana, where ambition runs side by side with responsibility, Adam Yeboah races against two clocks. One takes inside a classroom at Association International School, the other on the Sanskor Tartan track of the University of Ghana Stadium. Each morning, as the city stares, Adam and his mother sets off. Another day to run. The second of 3 children, he's the kind of boy who earns affection not just by accent, but by simply being. Raised in a modest home, there's one thing that stands out: his unshakable passion for the track.
Especially now, it's gotten kind of difficult now that I've been elected as head boy, so balancing my school life, social life, prefect duties, and my being an athlete, it gets tougher sometimes, but I know that's what I signed up for.
And he's very ambitious, so like when he sets his mind to something, you know, he's always aiming to achieve it. And I think we can tell that with the race too, like he aimed to win and he won.
He's the fastest boy in the whole school. So we've done multiple sports in the school, wherein Adam will always get like first position on things.
Like a scene out of the Avatar, young Adam had something most kids didn't: certainty. That early spark soon turned to fire, one medal at a time. School championship became his playground, and his name a major fixture on winners' lists.
We are moving to the side. I want to see you hopping on it. Be in the middle, front and back.
It's been difficult, even in school. They have the other games that happens for private schools and then non-private schools as well, but we've always not had the opportunity. And for the private schools, when we thought we would prepare to go, it's either issues from the school doesn't join in. So there was one that we had to go personally because he had trained the whole of the summer for one ISA games and the school didn't go. So we went in as representing our own. He represented himself, so no school attached. So he did very, very well, but unfortunately, because it was as a school, he didn't get the opportunity to be probably given a medal or anything.
Then came the Ghana International Schools Sports and Arts Festival, his moment. Years of sweat distilled into one opportunity.
Okay, so my name is Adam Yeboah. I'm in DP1. Which means I have one more year of school before I go to university. Usually before a race, I like to stretch just to get my muscles okay for the race. I take 2 laps around the field just to get the blood pumping, and then I start by doing some drills. So I get like high knees, back kicks, and things like that just to get me.
He didn't just show up; he stole the show. Adam clocked a personal best of 10.5 seconds in the 100 meters, swept the 200 meters and anchored AIS to the gold in the 4x100 meters. A clean sweep. Dominance was defined on that day.
Adam is a learner, and with all humility, I love working with Adam because Adam doesn't pose so much stress. He's easy to adapt, and adaptation is everything that an athlete needs. When I saw him, I got to know that, oh, this guy has the potential, he has everything. So what can I do as a PE teacher to assist my student in developing his talent? Because one of the core elements of a PE teacher is to identify talent for further development, and that's what I did.
Well, Adam is, you could just say that he's quite competitive. And I remember back in MYP2, when I was in MYP2 and he was in MYP3, we used to compete against each other when we had school, we had sports at school. And you could just tell that he was competitive and he was so ambitious and he wanted to win. And
it was amazing because obviously I knew I had the fastest man in my team. So when you could see in the videos, when I was actually about to receive the baton from Adam, I was dancing because I knew we had already secured the win.
Welcome back to the AM show. The show is sponsored by Syntex Tanks. And so let's talk about water tanks for a little minute before I introduce my guest to you. Do you know the secret to real water storage? It's simple. If your tank doesn't have the tortoise on it, then it's not the correct tank. That's right. The tortoise tank, Syntex Tank, is a champion of water tanks. It is strong and durable and built to handle our Ghanaian weather. So whether rain or shine, Syntex Tank has got your back. So go outside and check your tank, and if it doesn't have the tortoise on it, then it's time to upgrade. Join the Syntex Tank family today and enjoy water storage that's tough like a tortoise. Call this number, 0244 335 168, to either buy one now or find one of 400 agents nationwide. You can also shop online at syntexgh.com. Syntex Tank, a strong, a tough. My guest joining me this morning for the news review, we have Wanda Madilo. He's a development analyst. And we also have Afemoni. He's former president of the GJA. In the course of the conversation, when my third guest arrives, I will introduce him. You're matching, gentlemen. You look good together. There's something similar about the colors when it took the shot of both of you. But welcome to the AM show.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you.
And I want to start with you, Wanda. You know how we do it. We give our guests a couple of minutes to reflect on any issue of national interest. What has caught your attention?
Over the weekend, the president was in Ketu South, and he did a groundbreaking or sword cutting for the defense project, phase 2. I think that is a project that is of utmost importance to all of us, citizens along the coast, and even beyond Ketu South. It's been a problem that has been persisting for years. Bigger than that now was when Kita itself was overtaken by the tidal waves way back, somewhere in 93, 94, 95, 96. It was a major disaster. And government did some relocation exercise, built some new affordable housing, relocated the people, and some people were taken back. Large tracts of land was recovered from the sea, the ravaging tidal waves. We've seen that happen before, and we are hopeful that this groundbreaking will lay the basis for more expansive work. The president has promised that there will be some 12 groynes along the coast, so that will also help for fishing, in fact, recreational fishing and commercial fishing as well. There will be some markets along the coast for the citizens that will also help the economic life and livelihoods of our parents and loved ones. There will also be a lorry park attached to the project, and that lorry park is to ease transportation of services and goods and all that.
Right.
We have also been told that there will be some relocation exercises and some tourist, embankments for the people. we're very excited because if you look at the Soma area, I think more than 50% of their land is gone.
That's my hometown.
Yeah.
Soma.
Oh, really?
Yeah. We
are inviting you to the Soma Festival in September. I will come and carry you.
No, if I'm in town, I'll try and attend.
Yes. Yeah. So we're very excited.
Okay.
It's a huge thing for us. We want to thank the President and the Minister for Works and Housing.
Yesterday, it came up even in the papers, and I was saying that in as much as we are commending this, I mean, Sea Defense, yes, great call, but it's not just in Keta. It's not just in the K2 South. You know, we have the central region, they're facing the same problems. Even here in Accra, they're facing the problems, the same problems. So perhaps that is a good start, and we can model or take away the learnings and then implement a similar thing.
That's true. The only reason we are very excited is that if you look at the whole coastal belt, that area of town, we live more closer to the sea. So there have been more, houses being thrown off than in the other places.
All right.
But of course, they are very necessary. It will help all of us if government does that.
Absolutely. So, Afamoni, it's your time now to share your thoughts with us.
I'd like to take a very brief but important look at the looming by-election in Akwetia. It pays to be optimistic, but it pays more to square any sense of optimism with the logic of reality. And the reality is that electoral violence remains an insoluble puzzle as we speak now, and an indelible stain on our democracy. If we tap ourselves for holding 9 elections on the trot, but the reality is that violence threatens to wipe away all the gains, democratic gains we have made ever. So Akwetia presents the sternest test we dare not fail. Otherwise, it will spell a doom for our democracy.
Thank you. It just got me thinking, because we keep coming back to the same issue. And something that I think stuck out for me yesterday was that NDC and PP, you might have won the election, but the issues of electoral violence have marred that victory for you. And when we start thinking along those lines, we realize that it's not win at all costs or lose at all costs. You know what I mean?
We ought to turn a new page as far as...
It's 2025, man. Anyway. So let me, I want to introduce my next guest to you, but I want to give you the stories on the front page of the Daily Graphic before I do that. So on the Daily Graphic, we have Chiefs can't renegotiate sold lands. That is according to Justice Osei Tutu. And on the Ablekuma North violence, we're just talking about election violence, police reviewing viral videos to identify culprits. And these are stories on the front page of the Daily Graphic. 37,000 candidates write licensure exams. And Ghana Health Service steps up autism support, finalizes community-based plan, according to the Director General. And so I want to give a bit of details in terms of what they're saying, that chiefs can't renegotiate sold lands. A change of a chief as a result of death, abdication, or distillment does not affect the status of land sale transactions existing within the jurisdiction before a new chief ascends the throne. And this is coming from Justice Alexander Osei Tutu. He's a justice of the Court of Appeal. And he's saying that, quote, our chiefs must refrain from harassing people who've bought lands. It is unlawful for a new chief to say that he does not recognize the sale of land under a previous chief and tell the guarantees to regularize, I think that's clause 183 of the Land Act 2020. And so that's what they're saying. I want to come to you, gentlemen, for your reflections on this. But first, let me bring in Awal Mohammed into the conversation. He is from the NPP Communications Directorate. You're welcome, Awal.
Thank you so much.
You look good in your agbada.
Thank you.
Okay, so we want to talk about the chief issue, land renegotiation. But quickly, what are your thoughts for us before we get into that?
Thank you so much. Good morning to our cherished viewers, and good morning to my senior members who expressed their thoughts. I think I will I'm told on 26 or so, the finance minister will be.
Sure.
The Agenda 111 project captured, because it's a shame that in my constituency, the Asawasi constituency, where the interior minister is, it has roofing, but unfortunately it's now a mechanic shop. I will be happy that Joy News will send their cameras and go and see. They broke the fence, entered, and now heavy cars, these heavy duty vehicles are there, and they use it as a mechanic shop. So I will want to see something captured so that they will be able to really complete the project. It's as roofing. And this is a constituency that has over 200,000 people. We don't have even a polyclinic. All we have health centers. And now government is building a hospital for that community. And we have turned into a mechanic shop.
So you want to see some sort of allocation towards completion of all the Agenda 111 hospitals, or specifically what's happening in
Agenda
your
111 projects. But you see, there is a saying in Chiobi because my own is also there. So I will be happy to see all Agenda 111 projects coming up again, but the one in Asawasi is just an eyesore. I will be happy that Joy News will send their cameras there to interview the people, the mechanics, and see who gave them the authority to even enter the place. Okay.
I don't want to probe this because you're reflecting on an issue that is of concern to you. So I just read a story about how this justice of the Court of Appeal is saying that chiefs cannot renegotiate land sold. And it's a very common issue when one chief ascends, a throne, and they say they don't recognize the sale of land and they want you to renegotiate and they're taking more money from you, and it just pushes you into a very frustrating mood. I have a personal experience with this, so I'm very interested in this story. But let's talk about it. Where do we even start to change the status quo, Wanda? What do you think about this?
Land tenure system in Ghana is still a huge challenge because large portions of our land resource is in the hands of chiefs, families, and then individuals. And our laws recognize some of those titles. And so where it is a family land, I mean, the law is very clear. It can be sold, but some conditions have to be fulfilled. One party of a family cannot sell the land. You need a family head and other members to append their signature.
Sorry to interrupt. So is it an information gap? Is it that people don't know? So they just
really is an information gap. Yeah, I think that's where we are. It's an information gap because people are in a hurry to acquire property and sometimes not even doing the due diligence. Yeah. Instead of paying a lawyer to just help you through the process. Oh, I can do it myself. I know him. I trust him. But he won't be there forever. So if you buy property from an individual and he's no more, it's likely somebody will challenge that if it is a property or a title that is being held by a couple of people. It's a family property. If it's an individual, you already know who the title holder is. When if you go and do your searches. These days, we don't even do searches. People, show us places, we like it, and the person is paying outright or, and then later you hit a rock when you go to do the registration of the land. In fact, that land challenge has also affected investor confidence in this country. You will observe that a lot of our foreign, investment that come to this country don't want to do anything with land. The only reason for which today Ghana's industrial hub is working is because we acquired some area called the free zones until there are no litigation issues around them. And then our industrial hub and all that. Then the light industrial areas here in Accra here. But if you allow or if you let the investor go into town searching for land, it's a nightmare. People have been searching for lands 5 years, 10 years. Even when they finally get it, it's full of litigation. They're in court today and tomorrow and all that. So if we really mean development, if we really mean to help in supporting the growth of this country in industrialization, one of the things to do is to take serious and a critical look at the land tenure system. And I'm very excited that the land minister has indicated that some reforms are going on. They want to digitize our land demarcation, acquisition, and all that.
Right.
And so I'm pretty sure that if we get to that level where people are transparent, things are done in a more orderly manner, and we can also register land as quickly as possible. Today, you want to register land, it takes you like 6 months minimum. That is if you have the money to even pay in order to register it. Some people pay and it's a scam and all that. So indeed, it's a concern, and we need to find a solution to this. I think that it will also be good. I always, call on National Commission for Civic Education to lead some of these discussions. They will keep quiet until elections, and then we'll always see ballot papers flying all over the place and telling voter education and all. That's not all there is. For civic education to be active in this country, you must be involved in our day-to-day, life as a people. And for me, again, I'll call on them to take up some of these, projects. And there are also a lot of NGOs in that space that can help. Ministry of Environment can also help. Ministry of Natural Resources, Land and Natural Resources can also help in this regard. It will surprise you to know that even this Dagalan that we are talking about, the fights are sometimes based on the ownership of the land.
Right. Okay.
So thank you.
And I mean, although we are saying it's an information gap, there's some discrepancies in what the law even says. And I think that's exactly what the justice is alluding to. And let me quote some of the things he's saying. He says, while there are various provisions in Act 1036 to ensure accountability of chiefs in the sale of lands, lapses in the Act has made it virtually impossible to enforce such provisions. And case in point, he's saying, although Act 1036 criminalized the lack of accountability on the part of a chief in the sale of lands, there was a lack of clarity on the ingredients of such an offense. You see, so there's a law that says that perhaps if you don't recognize the sale of land from your whoever your predecessors were, there's a law that criminalizes that. But as to what actually constitutes the crime there, we don't have clarity on that. And so it's like much ado about nothing. We have the laws, but...
That's true. The last review of the Act tried to introduce some accountability issues. One is to establish what they call the administrative office, or it escaped me, but there's an administrative office where you give accountability, where you report to. If you're a chief and you hold land in trust for your people, you go and you account for it. But unfortunately, when we do our indentures, you see one signature, one witness. And the land is a titled land. So one person signing it is not enough. What decisions? Because there should be a background decision to say that when we met, we decided to sell this land to so and so person. That should be an attachment to the indenture you are holding. But you see, we always run around, take one signature, one witness. You also bring one signature, one witness, and you think you are done. I think that those are the challenges that comes with it.
Okay, Mr. Moni, let me pick your thoughts on this as well.
I think to blame this issue on information gap is to scratch the surface of the problem.
Okay.
Because they are deeply embedded. The problems are deeply embedded in greed, in flouting of authority. We respect our chiefs. They are venerated. And at the same time, they ought to know where their powers end and where the law takes its course. Many people have died. There's this tragic example of a senior journalist who bought a land, and he was dispossessed of that land, and that spelled his death. He died under tragic circumstances. And there are a litany of such examples. So it's not enough to blame this on information gap. There's a need to ensure that what is enshrined in our laws
is done.
Okay.
Thank you. Awa, what do you say to this? I mean, information gap, is it the discrepancies in what the law says, or is it just a matter of succession in terms of chieftaincy? Because these disputes also erupt into so many violence clashes, and we've seen them. Boko is parts, we go to so many places. Let me not take the wind out of your sail.
Yeah, so I think I have seen a couple of them in even Ashanti region. You buy a land, you are even using the land, maybe you have even built on the land. Then the chief dies, a new chief comes in, he will ask all of you to bring your documents, title document to the land and so on. You come there and they will tell you that you will have to pay certain amounts of money because the uncle did not really take you the exact amount that he's supposed to.
Yeah.
So I'm sure that is the reason the judge is saying that they can't renegotiate again.
Yes.
Because you see, you bought it maybe at 10,000 cedis 10 years ago. Now, a new chief comes in, you have not developed the land. Then he comes in to ask you to bring the title. You bring in a title, they said they will do another title for you. And some even take you money. Some will even tell you that the amount of money is too small, you have to renegotiate and so on. So I think this is a very good call. But I know that we started something, the digitalization of the lands. I remember it was launched around February 2024. Yeah. I just checked the update, and I saw that in April, the current lands minister is saying that they require $165 million to be able to digitize all the lands. I think whatever you need to digitize is better, because it's in Accra here. It's difficult to even buy a land. You can buy a land today, tomorrow you go, there's a building on it. Because you buy it, someone will also go and sell it somewhere. And that is also difficult for you to even say that, well, let me have some land so that later in the next 5 years I develop it and so on. But if you go and you're going to buy a land and you can go online and check and find out if that land has been sold already, you will not even go into any rigmarole of going to buy and tomorrow someone will come and build. You have to go and hire people to come and stand there for you to build and so on. So the digitalization of the lands is very, very important. The moment we digitalize, if I am buying any land, I go online today. Because of digitalization, I can check on any car that I am going to really use, especially when I'm I'm moving from Kumasi to Accra. I just quickly go and do the star 92 something. Then I check and see whether it's roadworthy or the insurance is valid before I even enter the car. So if really you're going to buy a land and it has been digitalized, it will be easier for you to know. Think that is then we'll cut even this land guard things, because I'll not go and buy any litigation land again. Because if I see that it's really registered, I'll not go and buy it from anyone again. Okay,
so you also think digitalization is the way to go. All right, so let's move on from that story. Police are reviewing viral videos to identify culprits, and this is on the Ablikuma North election rerun. And the police says that they are consequently collaborating with relevant state agencies to identify actors in the violent scenes. This, the Inspector General of Police, Christian Tete, disclosed this in Accra when he, along with the Minister of Defense yesterday, took their turn at the Government Accountability Series. And he said over the past few days, quite a number of security issues have emerged. He named the escalation of the Boku conflicts. In fact, I'm talking about the fallout from that presser yesterday. But let's take a moment and reflect on whether or not reviewing viral videos to identify culprits satisfy the Ghanaian who is constantly calling for us to prosecute people who are found culpable. Well, we've never actually, jailed anyone yet, as we speak. Nobody who has been caught on camera to be perpetrating a crime related to election has not, if I stand corrected, Wanda, we haven't done that yet. No, so if they've assured us that they are reviewing these videos, is that some sort of compensation to the Ghanaian who say, let's prosecute?
On top of my mind, I can't remember the name. No. We've had some election violences that have gone to court, especially those who burn ballot boxes. Oh, no.
All the cases, they'll tell you in various stages of progression. No, but in terms of finally... Okay.
Some people were actually charged and sent to jail. But more importantly on this issue is that the Interior Minister has spoken. What he said prior to this is that nobody will be left, free if we were found culpable in this business of the day. And I'm pretty sure that they say that there is no cause without action and all that. So those, the aggressor and the aggressee, all may be brought to book and all that. You see, investigations, we all know, take some time. Even though we're in a hurry, arrest them. It's important that you do due diligence and make sure that you're detaining the right people. Otherwise, you are going to be infringing on their rights and all that. We do understand that this was chaotic, this election was chaotic, There's another one ahead of us, which is
Akwetia.
The Akwetia one. We are hopeful that some of these things will be preempted by the security agencies. I said that what happened the last time, beyond the people's violence, which is normal for competitive elections, for people to be aggressive and all that. It's normal. We should not
normalize it.
No, the truth is that it's a competition.
Yeah, but we can have a competition without the elements of violence.
Yeah, we can use very soft, sweet language to describe it. But it's a competition between two people. And these two people, the background is that they've spent money, they have followers who they don't have control over, and all that. And we're still evolving as a democracy. Even in the US, there are pockets of, some disagreements, call it disagreements.
It doesn't end in fisticuffs and slapping people and blows all over the place. I think if you know better, you do better. So let's not normalize it to those
I'm coming. No, I'm saying that you need to understand the problem we have.
Okay, go ahead.
The problem we have is that people are violent when it comes to elections in this part of the world. Let's get that straight as a problem to be dealt with. Then we start talking to them. Then we start conscientizing them. Then we allow the candidates themselves who have followers that are of that nature to stop what they are doing. And then in collaboration with the police or the military that is in charge of the election of the day to preserve law and order. But as for violence, there will be pockets of them. However, how that is curtailed, how the police deals with that, how the security agents deal with that is what is of key. Donald Trump finished elections. Some people actually invaded what do we call their Oval House to take over. It went to court. That is in the US. That is in a very elite environment. And we have seen that all over the world. But I'm saying that it is the forthrightness of the security agencies. It is the citizens themselves willing to abide by law and order. And then also the candidates, what they tell them, they tell their followers and all that. So it's a combination, it's a gamut of issues that we need to look at. In this particular instance, I'm very sincerely hopeful that we will bring this matter to a quick conclusion.
Okay.
And I hear people say, oh, it's a retaliation, what was she doing there and all that and all that. Even we as people who go to some of these police, our conduct should also inform, the kind of peace we are looking for. I'm not going to go into any election environment and be holding a pepper spray. What are you insinuating? What are you expecting? So some of these things are the triggers I'm talking about.
All right.
Thank you very much.
All right. We are all entitled to our opinions, so let me just end it there.
Yeah.
But Mr. Money, does this assurance boost your confidence in ability to actually resolve, election-related violence issues?
Sweetie, frankly speaking, I think it would be presumptuous on our part to tell the police what to do. It's their job. I believe they have experts who are good at what they do. But at the same time, what we are expecting at the end of the day is that justice.
So, the rational.
All right, justice. We are in a dispensation of rule of law. So those who find themselves on the wrong side of the law, we made to taste the biting edge of the law.
Okay. Simplicity.
I was in Abacus North.
Yeah. Oh, you were there?
I was there. I was there physically live.
Okay.
And I saw what happened.
So they can call you as a witness if they want eyewitness recounts of what happened?
Not at where Howard Kumsi was.
Oh, okay. All right.
It's about at other police stations as an observer. And happy to be in the jail in 2021 to observe as an ECOWAS observer for the election rebranch. Their system, you after voting, you go home. It's only the voters who queue, and then after voting, nobody is permitted by law to hang around. So it's only the polling agents who stay around for counting to be done. And what I witnessed was free and very fair as far as the counting was concerned.
Go home and watch it on your TV.
Go and watch it on your TV. But here we see people.
It's because we don't trust. We don't trust the collation system, the process. We don't trust that electoral. See, I think it's all about trust, so Mr. Money.
Trust, yes. There's trust deficit.
If you trust them, you don't need to be stationed there to witness the collation yourself.
So that's the more reason why the party agents and observers should be allowed to. Anyway. I was an observer. I was allowed. Okay. And what I saw in Abilikuma, well-built people, a huge frame. whose presence alone was enough to impose a curfew of fear in whoever encountered them.
Right.
You're just walking around, and these people could cause mayhem. And indeed, some of them are blamable for what's happening at the police station.
Thank you, Mr. Moni. Well, let's hear your thoughts on this as well.
I think the police has failed because this is the first test for Christian Tete, you will know, as IGP. 19 polling stations. 11 days after, no single person has been arrested, even not the one who assaulted the journalist. So what is he telling us? Are we to go to Akwatia, prepared ourselves as a political party? Is it only our consumer that was assaulted? If she went there with pepper spray, what about the Chris Lloyd? What was his crime? He was even trying to run away when they accosted him and assaulted him. Look at the journalist, the Joy News journalist, the lady. Look at the GH1. Videos are there. They did not go there hooded. Did you see anyone hooded there? They were all with their faces. For 11 days, the police is yet to arrest a single soul. They are still telling us that they are reviewing videos.
So you are not convinced?
3 days ago, someone sat in Kumasi, did a video, and threatened mayhem in Akwatia. Within 24 hours, he was arrested because he's MPP.
Oh.
Yes, because he mentioned it. In the video, he mentioned it. He mentioned that he's an MPP, he's an ex-Delta Force commander, and he is happy what has happened to us. And when we go to Akwatia, some people will die. He was arrested.
Let me come in here. Comparing a video that someone does with his face, speaking into the camera, we hear him say the things that he wants to say.
Yes.
Versus a video of a chaotic scene where you have to take your time and identify who exactly, maybe threw the first punch, who exactly instigated or started the violence that we saw. I think there are two. One is easier than the other, relatively. One is easier than the other. I don't think we should put this in party
has an intention to commit a crime. The others have committed crimes that they are supposed to be arrested. For 11 days in this country, they are telling us that they cannot find them. Today, if you even meet Malik Basentale, you should be able to identify some of them. If you meet their national women organizer, she should be able to identify because she said violence begets violence.
All right.
So the police has failed in this, and they are not showing us any sign that indeed they will be able to police Akwatia.
All right. My co-anchor joins me, Samuel Kojo Brace. Unfortunately, Wanda Madilo had to take leave of us. So, Kojo, welcome aboard.
Thank you.
Yeah. And I'll come to...
Go
ahead.
So, if the police, as you say, the police is showing that they cannot, provide security for Akwatia, what do we do then?
So that is why we need the media. I am happy that you are bringing it up for discussion this morning, so that the police will understand that today, the one who went to Ablekumanov and perpetrated violence there has not been arrested. So those who are preparing to go to Akwatia will still go and continue over there. Even if you arrest for the optics, even if you arrest the person and give the person bail, at least someone will see that indeed, if I go to Akwatia and do that, I can even be arrested and be detained for even 2 hours or 3 hours. Now, no one has been arrested.
Oh, but the policeman who was seen slapping, he has been interdicted.
Yeah. How did we know?
So that, you said no one has been. I'm saying
when they were even communicating, there were gaps because they didn't even mention his name. They didn't mention his rank. They didn't mention where he works until GH1 went behind the scenes and got his name and the rank as the divisional commander for Adentan. So a divisional commander can slap a journalist without even without any cause.
You don't think the indictment is a recourse to...
You see, the problem is that we have even a problem with even these PEPs that we are talking about. Because you see, the police is supposed to investigate itself. For instance, a journalist does something here, and it's still the same multimedia that is supposed to investigate and ensure justice. How is that possible? Maybe you are the
independent bodies.
Exactly. Let's have independent bodies, just like the UK, to look at the misconduct of the police, because they will tell you we have interdicted them. And the person will go ahead and be taking salaries. Who will go and check and see whether the person takes half of his salary or full?
Right.
You wouldn't know.
But political parties should know that there's a law that proscribes or that prohibits, what do you call it, vigilantism.
Yes. There's an anti-vigilantism. Yeah.
So it means that even though we are all speaking against what happened in Ablekuma North, you should be guided by that act to say you're not going to go to what was the name? Akotia with your own security, because that will be against the law.
That was the reason the MPP had to disband Kandahar Boys, Delta Force, Invisible Forces, Bolga Bulldogs. We disbanded the group. You saw their videos after what happened in Ablekuma North, that we took them, used them, and made we turned them into criminals. We said if they even go and protect us in elections, they can be arrested and be jailed. You understand? Now the NDC have people they call the Green Army. They go there in the company of national officers. And a national officer stand there and say, if you say ke, I'll say ke. The following day, there is ke, and people have been beaten, including journalists. No single person has been arrested in the last 11 days. They are still reviewing videos. When someone only threatened and within 24 hours he was arrested.
Because that, as Suti said, that is clear.
But these are people that we even mentioned their names. There are people. The one who headbutted Hawakumsin, his name was mentioned all over. Even the location. There are two people who, as I speak, are working at Tema, DVLA office, who have been identified, and the police is yet to arrest them.
So why amplifying calls for speedy investigation to this?
That is what we want. That is what we want, because we cannot go to Akwatia without any arrest.
The fact also remains.
Because if we go to Akwatia...
Let's hear
Mr. The fact also remains, when it comes to violence, MPP and NDC, none of them is whiter than white.
We are better.
None of them
because
is purer than pure. This is a fact. So, violence, it can... One time about violence, once it starts, nobody can tell where it will end.
Okay.
Akwatia, because I've had an MPP former candidate who said they should prepare for violence in Akwatia. Said it, he came out openly to say that MPP should meet NDC with violence in Akwatia. And so this reinforces the need for us, the need for the intelligence community, the need for law and order agencies. To do their homework well, better than they did that.
Okay. I guess the real litmus test is Akwatia now, so that we see exactly how we go forward.
That place is always a flashpoint.
With
you know, you've covered stories there. It's always a flashpoint.
Right.
So now, if we don't see anything, that is the reason that the man is saying that. Go prepared. If you're going into the elections, you went to just 19 police stations. You were beaten. Then no one has been arrested. If you're going, do you have to go with our hands again?
Right.
No. The police must show us that indeed they can protect us. I was even surprised when a day before, Dr. Omani Buama came out to say that there will not be soldiers there. You've covered elections in this country. The soldiers do not man polling stations. No, what they do is that they do patrols. For instance, this heavily built men that he encountered, if there were military people, they would not even be showing up like that. It serves as at least because the military man, if you beat someone, if it were the military people standing behind our Kumsin, and they are beating them, they will beat the people. They know that if I beat anyone, the military will beat me, and if I'm not careful, they can even shoot me. So they will not even do that.
So I hear you on the fact that you're not satisfied with the pace
I'm
at
only
which
disappointed,
this is
not
going.
even satisfied. I'm just disappointed in the police.
I want to conclude with the Daily Graphic. Then Kojo comes in with his paper. Defense Ministry left with 3.79 billion Ghana cedis debt, according to Dr. Mane Boama. And of course, we'll be discussing this in detail on our big stories and some of the startling revelations in terms of 2,000 recruits who might be losing their jobs and so many. So I want to put a pin in this and then we'll discuss it in detail. But you can feel free to reflect on this. I just want to also add, 1992 Constitution needs tweaks, not overhaul, according to Professor Prempe. And on the back page, Black Queens out to shock Atlas Lionesses. The 2024 Women's Africa Cup of Nations has reached fever pitch, and the semi-finals promise nothing short of drama, quality, and fierce rivalry as 4 of the continent's best lock horns in Casablanca. And we are looking forward to the Black Queens coming out on top. So feel free to reflect on any of these, but Kojo's paper is next. You want to talk about the revelations from yesterday's government accountability series, Haruna? Awal Mohammed.
Yeah, I was very much surprised when Dr. Omani Buama came out to say that, well, there were some transfers of some ammunitions.
Yeah, from Ghana Armed Forces to national security, and it's untraceable as we see.
How is this news?
It's not news?
Yes, because you see, these borders on national security, you know how to trace them. Who did the transfers? It's simple, because you said it was transferred. He didn't say they were missing. He said they transferred some ammunitions to national security.
But it's unaccounted for.
It's unaccounted for. There are officers that are supposed to account for them, because you did not really transfer them in vacuum. Someone signed to transfer it. Someone signed to take them. So can't you just get these people? Because the moment you say this, people think that, hey, we're talking about small arms in this country already in the hands of people. Now you are telling us that ammunitions from the armed forces, over thousands, cannot be accounted for. That portends danger. You are causing fear and panic. Yes.
So you really think he shouldn't have...
I believe that these
shouldn't have been brought to the public eye?
Usually they go to Parliament, and there are a lot of briefings. The national security briefings are done in camera. It's not everything that the Ghanaian is supposed to hear about it. If really they are missing, you get the officers in charge, and they are charged to go to court so that at least they are prosecuted.
Okay. Well, sorry, I'm not cutting you, but what is the meaning of accountability if you're not telling the people what it is?
It is not everything that you say it on air. Even you, per your training, it's not everything that you come to say on air. Because there are things that when you say, it will cause fear and panic, but you have told the truth. You understand? That's the reason I'm saying that. If you're saying that thousands, they are not missing. They have only been transferred to one agency. And before even a military person or a security person picks a gun, what he does is that he signs against pick the gun. If he returns it, he also have to sign and return it again, even the police and the police stations. So if really you have transferred it, someone signed for the transfer, someone took them into his custody. So these are administrative things that you have to do. We don't need these things, because it is not even something that has been really leaked out for you to say that, well, people are saying that these things are missing, so let me come and rebut or give the details of what had happened. We were just sitting there. We were expecting you to come and tell us updates on these things, on the Ablekuma and
so
some
this is
other
not
things.
an update.
I don't think it's an update that we need as a country at this point.
And that is his opinion. But every story has two or more sides. So Dr. Omani Buama has given his side of the story. So it's up to us to get to the other side and feed the public accordingly. Because in the name of comprehensive journalism, the media to have a duty.
So to add to that, yesterday we spoke to the former Deputy Defense Minister, Amankwa Menu, yes. And he said every transfer of ammunition, because he says there's a practice where the security agencies rely on the military for weapons.
Yeah.
And every transfer has a record.
Yes, documented.
The transfer.
Yes.
So he is expecting the minister to go through the document to know who released those ammunitions. And it's easy for him to track. But again, you'd also give it to the minister, because probably, and I was asking him, could it be that the minister has gone through the document and is not able to really, because the minister has seen something, that's why he's saying irregular. So probably he's seen the document, but he thinks that this is not how it is supposed to be done. That's why he labels it as irregular. But Amankwame also feels that, well, there's a committee in Parliament that superintends over there.
Yeah.
So, but for politics, because according to Meno, he says he
trying to score points.
Political innuendos in the thing. But for politics, he would have, wished that Parliament goes into this to find out what really is the issue. But he told us that there's a trace, so you can really trace where weapons go. But the question Dr. Eni, Professor Eni was also asking was, the national security is not supposed to be using guns. Are they supposed to be using guns?
Well, it depends on the categories, because you see, NIB is also part of national security. Yeah. They are trained to use guns, even though they don't use them.
Investigation Bureau.
Yes. Yeah. They are trained to use guns, but they don't use it more often. When there is the need for them to use it on an operation, they go to the armed forces and take them. Then after they use it, they will send it back.
And would they need thousands of ammunition that we have been made to understand?
It depends. That's the reason I'm saying that. Maybe it had even been returned, but the documentation had not been done and so on. And this is over time, I'm sure, because he didn't specify the date, even though he said prior to elections. That is why we're saying that it is clothed in some kind of politics, because I think it's over time. But he wanted to say that chunk or majority of the weapons were sent before elections. You understand? So that's the reason I'm saying that. It's documented. Even a single gun is documented, even if you take it from them. So other security agencies, some are mandated to use guns. Even NACOP now, they are also trained to use guns, but they don't use it. When you go to the airports, you see them, they don't use guns there. But when there is the need for them to go to places where they can do the raid for these red people, and yesterday I saw some Alaji in the northern region who has been arrested with tramadol and so on. It's NACOP that with the police that did that operations, and they did that with guns. But they don't have guns. They don't have licensed guns that are in their custody at any time. But as and when they need them, they are given the guns to work with them.
So now we heard from the two sides.
Yeah.
In between the two lies the truth. So it's up to the media community to ferret the truth and then feed the public accordingly.
Fortunately, now we have right to information, so you can write.
In the name of fact-checking journalism.
Yes. You can write to them, even though in the act they are saying that there are some national security issues that will not be disclosed to the journalist. And that I find something the public very strange. So.
Yeah, but I mean, if we're being honest, I appreciate that they're telling us these things. I know that these are security matters, and sometimes we have to be, not sometimes, at all times, we have to circumspect in what we report. Yeah, but I also appreciate that they came into power on the campaign on transparency, and so and I don't think this is any different from Meet the Press, the one that's
it's Meet the Press.
It's Meet the Press.
So
it's just regular updates on what is happening, so we cannot choose and say, don't tell us this, tell me. I want to tell me so that I can decide for myself what to do with the information. Kojo, back to you.
All right, I have the Daily Guide newspaper. If you look at the front page, it says UTAC threatens strike over Galamsey, and that story was in our news this morning. 962 small-scale mining licenses risk revocation. Presidential jet grounded in France. That story is on page 3 of the paper. Ghanaians to pay $250 extra for U.S. visa. Someone was asking me, why haven't you applied for any visa before? This is where I like this.
You will always have to go to your hunter.
So sometimes, exactly. If I'm traveling, I'll go to a hunter West. And when I'm going to a hunter, I don't need a visa. I have to maybe take a flight or drive. So those of you who bother of going to the U.S.
But when did you course in the U.S.?
Again?
When did you course in the U.S.?
Official. Well, as for that, the company will pay. So I don't care about that.
That's official.
So those of you who want to go to U.S., prepare to pay $250 extra for visa.
But I'm told it will be refunded if you are able to really. If you are able to ensure the sanctity of the visa, yes. Because,
okay.
Yes.
It's like that when you're going to South Africa, you pay like $100 or so.
Okay.
They will pay some amount of money, and then when you return, they give it back to you.
Okay.
Yeah, similar to that.
The point is that if you go to
they don't want you to
if you go to someone's country, don't think of overstaying. Just come back. when you come back, you still have the opportunity to go there. I mean, look, it's because people don't want to be doing. I always say, when I was a presenter in Takrady, I was a morning show host, but I was selling my wife's bread. Sometimes my wife was like, "Why are you selling bread?" I was like, "No. You know what? Whilst I'm not stealing, but I'm doing good business." And even me selling the bread.
There's nothing meaning about selling bread.
And even selling the bread, you know, motivate a young man to say, but that's Kojo Brace. That's a big man. He's selling bread.
Yeah.
You know, I want to be. Look, I really enjoyed it. I put bread in my car and go around to the city supplying my customers. You know, I tell people, if you don't feel shy of selling water and bread in the traffic, you make money. Because those people are seeing money on a daily basis.
Right.
Why would you, you know, say...
Which is not everyone who's blessed with, you know, maybe the boldness and brave... I don't know what to call it, you know.
Maybe.
Some people too have some skill. They have too many skills to resort to that.
Well.
So I don't necessarily shame people who can't do it. There are people who can't, like me, I can't do it.
You know,
I really cannot do it, not because I'm shy.
Yes.
I feel like I have too many skills I can leverage rather than resort to that.
It is for some people who think that this job, it's demeaning.
Well, then go and find something that you think you can do. You know?
All that I'm trying to say is that your tendency of thinking your success lies in another man's country is why that country wants to do whatever it likes to your people.
Squeeze you dry.
Yes.
Yeah, you're right.
So when you go there, come back. Come make money in Ghana, go for holidays there. Let them see that, Charlie.
That's the right mentality,
Yeah. And
I remember the Gitmo issues. When it came, I was highly critical of the government and the US government and so on. Someone told me, "You won't get visa." I said, "What will I even go do in there?" I have never in my entire life thought of living anywhere except Ghana. If it is official, they'll give me visa. If they deny me visa, I still remain. What will I go and do? I'm not a business person. I'm going to
We're not
do business
criticizing
there.
the people who say they go and they won't come back. But we're only saying that the actions is serving as impediment in the ways of other people who genuinely would have gone there for an important activity and returned. There's so much money in this country. Look, when I drive on the corridors of the Western region, I'm like, opportunities. You just have to see them and get someone who would probably be your, because it's money as well. Someone who would be your backbone and fund you. If you get someone like that, look, don't travel. Come to me. I'll show you where
to get the money.
And how to get the money.
The story
Fishes of men. Please, let's continue.
If you don't have the money, that is the problem. But there are things that you don't require money to start with. Look, I was a quarry supplier in Takrady. I started with zero. And sometimes when I see people laughing that, oh, this person said I started with one person, I started with zero. The only thing I started with was my credibility.
And goodwill.
And the story stood of the owner of La Bianca, who also started with zero. She went outside and it was fruitless. So came back to Ghana and then somebody supplied her chicken. And then she sold the chicken and returned the money 3 times. And that was a breakthrough.
Let's not, I don't intend to belabor the point, but most successful people rarely ever tell the real stories behind their successes.
Anyway, one day
and I started with 1 shoe, I started with 3 hens. It's not all of them that's real.
That is related to the 250 cities dollars.
Go ahead.
Dollars that people will be paying. So it's just to say that when you go, come back. Presidential agent grounded in France, maybe you don't take a bite on it. UTAC threatens strike over Galamsey. It's also another story. But
my interest is on UTAC strike.
It's on UTAC, okay. But another story that really is the BOG refuting dollar shortage claims. I want to read a bit of it. It says, the Bank of Ghana has assured the public that there is sufficient foreign exchange supply to meet market demand. Responding to claims from some traders and businesses about the delays in accessing dollars to complete transactions, particularly from their foreign currency accounts, the BOG said the current challenges stem not from a lack of foreign exchange, but from strict enforcement of existing foreign exchange laws requiring full documentation for dollar transactions. So that's also another story. On this story, I'm interested in that. Recently, a friend of mine wanted to send dollars outside. Completed all the documentation. It took almost 3 weeks before it got done. So really, What was that?
I mean,
It's not lack of it.
I'm just waiting for a transfer within my own accounts from dollar to cedi. Just convert money. It's been 4 days or so. I still haven't got it yet. So not from my own account, so from my own dollar account to my cedi account. I'm still waiting.
Maybe when you call the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Siama, he'll be able to do that. No, your colleague in Ishra FM, Kumasi, complained about that, wrote it on his Facebook page, sat on Ishra FM and lamented. He said, he wrote it back that the following day he wrote that the Bank of Ghana governor called him and facilitated for him to get. So the question is, how do people who do not have the privilege to speak to a governor Bank of Ghana are able to get these dollars? He said his partner, Nana Jantwa said his partners needed some dollars and they went to the bank. For 2 weeks, they couldn't get the dollars. So he went on Ishra FM, you know, it's a very authoritative platform, and pour out these. And later, he said the Bank of Ghana governor called him and was able to facilitate for his partners to get the monies.
Well, I guess
it's disheartening. But you see, the problem is that, to be very honest, let's not always attack Bank of Ghana. Because you see, the commercial banks too, you go there, and because they supply Abuchi the dollars, they will tell you that the dollars are not there. They can call in Abuchi and Abuchi will supply you with the dollar because they have their shares and so on.
Okay.
Yes. Yes, that usually.
You have an experience of that?
Yes, they are friends with those in the banks. You go to the bank, they tell you, we don't have it. But
Mohammed, you know, this is a serious allegation.
Yes. They said,
do you have evidence?
I'm telling you that this is something that I know. I go to Nima. I go to Nima almost every day. I have a place that I go and sit, and this is the place that we call where you call the Alaji has the dollar and so on. They tell us that they get these dollars from the banks, and the bank manager can call him and tell him, I need $200,000, and he sends it with his rate. Then he tipped the Bank of Ghana, the bank manager, because you go there and they tell you, we don't have it. That will give you officially. But I know some Abuchi somewhere who can give it to you. They say, okay, then.
So I hate to interject, but I don't want us to focus on, you know, Abuchi. I think the story is that the shortage is not because there are no dollars in the system, but they have stricter, you know, policies in place that you have to check all the boxes before you can get access to the money. That's what
the question is. Is that a real issue too?
Yeah, but there are inconsistencies here then. Because you remember when, I think it's still Joy News, when Adongo granted interview and said they are going to be strict on even your own dollar account, just like you are saying that in the last 4 days. They came out with a statement to say that Adongo is the finance committee chair in Parliament and a board member at Bank of Ghana. Just after his inauguration, he came and said they will enforce these measures.
But I think the Bank of Ghana came out to...
They came out to the bank. Now they are telling us that they are also following the strict... So which is which? Is it what Adongo said that they are implementing, or... You understand? Because now they are saying that Adongo says they will be strict even on your own bank account. Then Bank of Ghana came with a statement to say that that is not true.
Adongo said it will be illegal to even own.
No.
Yeah, he said if you had pounds in your accounts,
you cannot withdraw.
To convert. You cannot
withdraw and spend it here. He said you cannot withdraw and spend it here.
Yeah.
Just like what you wanted to do. You want to withdraw, right? Transfer from.
No, I mean I don't want the extra charge. You know, when you're withdrawing, they charge you some 3.5 something. So I wanted to convert from my own dollar account to my own, so that I can withdraw.
So you want to get CDs.
Let's move on from this, please. We have 7 minutes or so to wrap up. And I know Afemoni wanted to comment on the illegal mining. Right.
A quick comment. A stalwart of NDC, Tornado, I said, I think it's quoted by one of the papers, I said that NDC's electoral fortunes in 2028 will be defined by how they handle the issue of Galamsey.
Yeah.
In all fairness, progress has been made, but this is not enough to turn the needle. The fight against Galamsey remains a chronic one. We are nowhere near winning this fight. it also remains a fact that political will is conspicuous by its absence in dealing surgically with the root cause of galamsey. So let's give my good friend Amakufo Fibua the benefits of the doubt to win this fight. It's winnable. It's winnable. The fight against galamsey is winnable. But we need to pluck the political will. We need to, fire on all cylinders, activate all levers, and ensure that for once there's tangible evidence that our forests cover will not be depleted with reckless abandon.
Right.
Our water bodies will not be polluted by people who want to feed fat, reap where they have not sown, and then sentencing people to premature death. We need to wake up as a nation.
Thank you. Awal, final thoughts on this?
Yes, I think the galamsey...
Can we call it illegal mining instead of galamsey? I mean, yesterday, I understand why galamsey would sound like a sweet covering of the rot that illegal mining actually is. Galamsey, gather and sell. And every time I hear those who fight against it, say, let's use the correct term so we understand what we're talking about. It's illegal mining, not gather and sell. It's not galamsey anymore.
Yes.
Yeah.
But galamsey has assumed a more serious meaning.
Has it?
Yes, it has.
Okay, go ahead.
See, the challenge we have is that a government that campaign on certain issues, that when we come, this is what we want to come and do. You remember the UTAG strike. You remember even pastors had to do procession against galamsey in this country. You remember even organized labor.
Until that U-turn.
Exactly, that they wanted, yes, that they want us to repeal the law that grants the concession into forest reserve. Today, as I speak, about 5 companies have had access to license to mine in the forest reserve because the law has not been repealed. They only want to amend something, but these were the promise. What happened to when President Mahama said he was going to use AI to fight galamsey? Now we have 3 different committees that are fighting galamsey. Together with we have the Blue Water Guards. I'm told some are even around Axim directing traffic. Then you have a committee that was set up by Muntaka Interior Minister. They said a joint committee. Now Gold Board has also set up one. So as I speak, the government is only interested in how to buy the gold from the galamseyers and not how to fight galamsey. Because
that's your reading of the matter, not a statement of facts. I just have to say that. That's what you think is happening.
Yes, because you see, if you go to Osino and Yinam, it is done in the heart of the town. We have MC, who is the MUSEC chair, municipal security chair. But it is done in the heart of the town because your party Aba, that is what we see.
But the question is, what is your basis of saying Gold Board is buying the galamsey gold? Because what you're explaining, you're talking about the galamsey itself.
Yes.
But how do you link that to Gold Board?
So where are they buying it? Where do they sell their gold? Because today, when with the laws in this country from May up to today, you cannot sell to anyone except Gold Board licensed.
We understand that.
So where do they sell their gold now?
But you also do appreciate that in this country, whenever there are laws to restrict the selling of something, then you open the door for smuggling. Why aren't you asking yourself, are they smuggling?
No, but it was just 2 weeks ago that the president said, when after inaugurating that task force by Gold Board, that they will check smuggling, they will check people who are buying illegally and so on. We've not heard any story of people doing illegal buying. So these galamseyers, where do they sell their gold? They sell it to the same Gold Board.
No, it's a question we need to ask, but you cannot.
That's what I assume because...
yeah, that's an assumption.
Yes, but I'm saying I'm assuming. That's what she said. That's my opinion because it might not be grounded in facts, but everything points to the fact that because they don't sell it to the Indians now. Initially, they sell it to the Indians and some few other people. Now, the Indians have been taken out of the business. Now, there are 300 different NDC individuals who have been given the licenses to...
Oh, wow, you have to be substantiating your claims with fact. Yeah. I mean, well, you are speaking for the...
That won't be factual.
Yes.
Because I am coming from a community or an area where gold dealers are.
Okay.
The people I know, they've been given licenses. It's not all of them who are NDC people. Okay.
Kojo, let me do this in 1 minute so that we can wrap up. So I want to get your thoughts on this. The 2024 Auditor General's report on the public accounts of Ghana has uncovered significant lapses in contract management across public institutions, with irregularities amounting to a staggering, and hear this, 871 million, over 871 million. And the losses stem largely from public boards, corporations, and statutory institutions failing to enforce key contract provisions and honor overdue obligations. And it's like the same song we keep singing. This is not news to us. We've been here before. Every year we come back, and it looks like the figures just keep increasing, and nothing is done about it. Quick thoughts on this, because we have to go.
See, usually, it is not the figures that keep on increasing. They roll it over. So definitely it will increase. These are irregularities. Some are not even monies that are missing. But remember, in the past, we politicians, when the shoe is on the other side, we come to say, Auditor General alone can generate this amount of money. Some are even receipts that you're supposed to present that you have not presented. They will add it as irregularity. So if you're able to present it, yes, these are irregularities.
Of plain thievery.
Yes.
Instances of...
Yeah, there are. Yeah. But I'm saying that when you check, they said some contracts that have not been honored and some reconciliations that have not been done. These are the things that balloon
losses from public boards as well.
Exactly. So the losses. These are things that has nothing to do with politics, has nothing to do with politicians, because as I speak, in the last 4 years or 5 years, I have not seen a single audit query for any politician. These are, that's why they said public boards and institutions. These are officers who are public servants and civil servants who engage in these irregularities and so on. So I don't know how, because you see, at a point in time, Occupied Ghana was able to push some legislation for them to allow this Auditor General to do disallowance and discharge, so that at least some people will be able to pay these amounts of money that they have embezzled or misappropriated and so on. If it is embezzlement, they can go to court. But if it's misappropriation, they return it back to the state and so on. Okay. I don't know how they are enforcing these things. These are reports that we
were told by the Public Accounts Committee that they're going to surcharge people who cause such colossal financial loss to the state, and nothing has happened since then.
No, in the past, I have seen some people, even at YE. I remember there was a lady who left the country, went, and for 2 years she was still paid. So the disallowance and surcharge was done. Okay. And
now thank you. Let me hear Mr. Money on this finally, and then we have to go.
So the law should take its course. We are in a dispensation of rule of law.
Okay.
So any infractions of the law should attract the first punishment.
All right.
Okay.
Well, Kojo, that's our time for the news review.
Just that I want to do this quickly. Now, this one says, a gracious happy birthday to Dr. Winifred Nafisa Mahama, who is Director of Information Services Department. The message is, enjoy your day, Mama, from your daughter, Portia Samari Mahama. So happy birthday to Dr. Winifred Nafisa Mahama there.
And our best wishes to the Black Queens.
Yes! Go Black Queens, go!
The venue and the crowd on paper will give some advantage to the whole crowd. But
absolutely.
We expect them to tilt the odds.
Absolutely. I think I support them more than I support the Black Stars, and sue me, I'm biased towards the women.
No, they have brought in more gold than the Black Stars. Black Stars.
You see?
Before I was born, we had only the last medal, the African medal. It was before I was born.
Okay, we have to go. So that's Awal Mohammed. He's from the NPP Communications Directorate. Afel Moni joined us. He's former president of GJA. And of course, Wanda Madiloba, he had to leave early. And Kojo and I were here to stay the conversations. But stay with us. We'll return with our big stories in a minute.
But the reality is that to date, those ammunitions have not been accounted for. How the Ghana Armed Forces could transfer ammunitions to national security that doesn't have a fighting force in 2024 is a question that will definitely have to be answered. The Ghana Armed Forces has passed it on to the National Security Secretariat for the National Security Secretariat to investigate it, since they were the recipients of the ammunitions. But what we are doing is, under our watch, under our watchful eyes, any such incidents will not be dealt with like the way it was handled in the past. So whilst we have encircled this and handed it over to national security for national security to handle, whatever will fall within our domain from January onwards, trust that we will deal with it the way the military knows best. It is important to report at this stage that the last recruitment exercise for soldiers, non-officers, so the soldiers go to the army recruit training schools and the various training schools, the officers will go to the Ghana Military Academy. So I'm done with the officer career. I'm now moving to the soldiers.
Welcome back. This is our big stories. Let's get into those startling revelations from the Defense Ministry. And they say thousands of ammunition from the military is unaccounted for through irregular transfers to national security. What does this really mean for the security of a state fraught with proliferation, of small arms, and a national security whose operations have often been a subject of public scrutiny? We want to delve into these matters plus other fallouts, including that over 2,000 persons whose status of employment into the military hangs in the balance because the Defense Ministry, the minister said, they are laying the blame on the previous government. They failed to take them through proper training. Joining us for this discussion and other matters is Ishmael Norman. He is the president of Institute of Security, Disaster and Emergency Issues. He's doctor, rather. Dr. Norman, thank you so much for joining us. Good morning. Dr. Norman joins us on Zoom. And Doc, if you can hear me, please unmute.
Good morning.
Great. It's good to have you. So let's start with the specific procedures. We understand there are procedures in place for such transfers. Meanwhile, the minister is saying these ammunitions are unaccounted for. So explain to us or help us understand what the proper procedures are in place for transfers of ammunition between the Ghana Armed Forces and the national security.
Thank you very much. In terms of the statement by the Minister of Defense, I think it's a very serious statement. But we also have to counterbalance that with the statement from Honorable Amankwa Mainu, who was Deputy Minister, and he says it is not missing. And so if it's not missing and the key players are there, then I think it can easily be accounted for. As far as the military manual for transferring ammunition or guns or equipment from one place to the other, from one agency to the other, that data is not available to me or anybody else who is not in that logistical, want to address that, has to be very careful because you don't know what the content of that document may be.
I think we have some network interruption from your end, Dr. Norman. And I think what you're saying is that as we speak, you cannot confirm what's, if that information is available, it's not available to us right now, not to you and anybody else. Hopefully we can get you back so we can go on and discuss who then would be responsible for monitoring and authorizing these transfers. Doc, did you hear me? Dr. Norman, are you still with us?
But the system is not reliable at all. I am with you.
Okay, great.
I am with you.
Okay, so first I heard you say that there may be processes, but the specifics are not available to us as we speak. So who then is responsible or who authorizes such transfers? Do we know that?
Such transfer would have to go through the CDS, the Chief of Defense Staff, and all the people, all the key players are alive. So the former minister, Honorable Nitiwul is alive, Honorable Amankwa Menu is alive, Honorable Kandapa is alive. So I think we should exercise a bit of patience. It's good that the Minister of Defense has reported that we don't know the whereabouts of such ammunition, and it's a very serious statement. So let's exercise patience, because this is the only country we have. Any bad publicity affects the image of this country. So we have to be very careful, slowly go after the players, and the invest contain unit. And so Ghana Armed Forces has the military police, very highly trained intelligence division. They can come together and work with the lawyers. There are a lot of lawyers in Ghana Army. They can all come together and collect the data. You don't need a BNI for self-control. If you bring other agencies to investigate Ghana Army, because of esprit de corps, the people may not talk. Get the investigators from within the Ghana Armed Forces, military police, the lawyers, and get the investigators, national security, to do the work. Don't bring in the BNI at this point, because no step is happening. But if there is step happening, then you can bring Yoko and other groups together. But the key players are all around. So talk to them gently and try to expose the whereabouts of all those ammunitions, because they are all military grade, as President Mahama said in February of this year. We need to find out where they are. And I believe, according to Honorable Amankwa Menu, nothing is missing. So he should be a person of interest in trying to identify where the whereabouts of those equipment.
I'm here with Samuel Kojo Brace, and he'll come to you shortly. But is it your opinion that this shouldn't have come into the public eye?
Oh, it's okay. The public has the right to know. It's our money. We pay for all of those. So the Minister for Defense did right by telling the public, people, this is what is happening, and I want you to know, so that we can all come together and try to find a solution to this problem. So there's nothing wrong in telling the public that this is missing, so that we can all be aware in our neighborhoods, and whatever, we see something, then we can say something.
Doc, thanks for joining. From what you're saying, it means that
You're welcome, Kojo.
It means that it should not be hard for the government to track down the whereabouts of these ammunitions, right?
It shouldn't be, because all the key players are alive. Kandapa is there. His deputies are there. National security people are there. And the CDS, the former CDS, is alive. The intelligence division of the military is there. They should know the whereabouts and the protocol they use to transfer, and to whom they made the transfer, and the purpose of the transfer.
So I mean, get us to understand, what does it mean if the minister says thousands of ammunitions are unaccounted for? Hello, Doc.
Yeah, it means that if we don't find out where all those pieces of ammunition went, we are all at risk. The CEO of Small Arms Commission has already warned us. The president of Ghana need to account for all the missing ammunitions, and these are very, very serious military grade ammunition. Some of them can even pierce armor. When I look at the pictures that was presented yesterday on TV, some of them can pierce armor. Some of them can pierce a lot of walls. So we have to find out where they are and why the transfer was made at the very close end of 2024, just round about the time that we were preparing for a major general election. Why was it done? So it is a very serious discovery, and we need to know the answer.
Well, I mean, should this or does this have any impact on the security of the country in terms of the rise in crime in this country if we are not able to trace this?
Kojo, I believe that whenever ammunitions are missing, it means that somebody on the other side has the guns to use them. Okay. And so it has tremendous impact on our national security. But so far, let's say they got missing about what, 8 months, 9 months ago, and nothing has happened. We shouldn't take it for granted, because we need to know the reasons why the transfer was made. And the person to know this will be the former CDS. Nothing can move out of the military armory without someone at that level knowing why it is being moved. So the former CDS is a highly person of interest. The former Minister of National Security is also a person of interest. Military police should go to work and get the information out. Military intelligence, they have some of the best intelligence cadre in this country, superior to any other. They can tell us what was behind it. And it shouldn't be the work of BNI at this point. It shouldn't. Just because if you bring in outsiders into this foray, there will be a esprit de corps. Those who know information will not talk, because the army protects each other. And I must disclose that I work for the Ghana Armed Forces Command and Staff College as a senior research fellow. But I am looking at the issues from an objective point of view.
Okay.
And you should go after the persons of interest and slow down the accusations. Don't blame it.
I think you're saying slow down on the accusations and don't blame anyone.
This means to destruction.
But I want to find out from you.
You should blame someone, otherwise, what is the point?
Right. So you're saying that we should avoid turf wars, and so don't take this to the BNI. Just let the police forces, what did you say, the army police and all that, they handle the investigations. But I want to find out, are there known instances where military ammunition surfaced in criminal activity, civil unrest in this country? Do we have precedents? Do we have such history? Or is this the first time something like this has come to light?
Of course we have had. Of course we have had. I can't lay my hands on it right now, but I believe that, you see, when people go for training in the army, the soldiers, they go for training, they don't even have the opportunity to fire more than maybe 20 rounds during their target training. So why should all this get lost when we need it to train our soldiers? So we need to blame someone, and we need to start from the top echelon of the military and then descend down on Ministry of National Security, and then get the military police, the military intelligence unit to work. National Security also has intelligence division. That the people who did this, or under whom this happened, they are all there. Go to them, bring them together, interrogate them. Everybody before the law is equal. The law is the law. So they should interrogate all those people and do it in such a way that there will be cooperation. But don't, demonize them already when you have no idea of why it was done.
Doc, to a large extent, I think this
you have
reveals...
to understand that the civil-military relationship...
Okay, I think that we have to pause on you now, get a stable connection, and then come back to you. And it's a good time to introduce Reverend John Intim-Fojo into the conversation. He's the ranking member of Ghana's Parliamentary Committee on Defense and Interior. Reverend, it's good to see you again on the AM show.
Yeah, I'm excited to be here, Sidi.
Welcome.
Good to see you. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Fojo,
yeah.
Good to see you again.
Good to see you, Reverend.
I mean, this falls right in your purview. So I want to get your initial statement on this. Since news broke out, these startling revelations came to your attention. What have you been thinking to yourself?
Yeah, thank you. Good morning to our cherished viewers. On the matter of the purportedly irregular transfer of ammunitions, it came to our attention some months ago. Indeed, as a committee, we held an in-house meeting with the minister where specific assurances were secured that they were going to be able to undertake processes that will see to their recovery. And we got the impression that it is a matter that is within, grip. It's a matter that is definitely not going to be beyond the ministry and the top hierarchy of the Ghana Armed Forces. So if for a few months on, there still seems to be some difficulty listening to the minister, you could deduce that there seems to be some difficulty in resolving the matter. We would step in as a committee again and to be able to support them. I think that there shouldn't be any cause for alarm. Anytime such reports come out, the first thing people do is to start pointing fingers. We have similar instances where we said some about 2,500 containers of ECG were missing at the ports. Some of us initially said, given the nature, the regulated and sophisticated nature of such logistics, it will be very difficult to say that they are missing. They may be unaccounted for at a particular point in time, but if you take your time and unravel it, you'll be able to know where they are. There is a standing arrangement within within the security sectors of most countries where there's that collaboration between agencies. So sister security agencies do share weapons and for certain specific operations, and at the end of it, they return it where they took it. And so the practice of sharing weapons between sister security agencies, it is not a novelty.
Okay,
it is not inappropriate.
Pause here for me, Reverend. And you're saying now that you caught wind of this months ago, some weeks ago. Exactly why was it done then? You say that is normal. There are standing arrangements within sister security agencies to share ammunition. What is the reason behind this particular one? We're talking about 8 or 7 months ago. Why was it done? Around election year, election time.
Anytime there's election, election is election is an operation that multiple agencies, security agencies, have to collaborate to be able to undertake. And in such operations, you would find that certain collaborations in terms of weapons has to be done. Be that as it may, it's a matter of record keeping. How many ammunitions went to this agency? How many ammunitions went to that agency? And who must account for those and who must return them? And the records are there. Because at the end of the day, it takes someone or an officer, a leading officer, to undertake these transfers, to receive on behalf of the security agency that took them for the specific operation. And then when it is done, they ought to account for same and return them. It is not an inappropriate practice. So we should be very careful not to scandalize the Ghana Armed Forces, nor any particular security agency to say that for the fact that some weapons had to leave military to another sister agency, it is so inappropriate and it is so unprofessional. No.
In order for us not to do that, in order for us not to scandalize this issue, we need clarity, which is why I'm asking your engagement with between the committee, your committee, and the ministry. what was the explanation you got as a reason why this transfer was done, so that we don't speculate? Tell us the exact detail.
Oh yeah, I've given you the detail that I have to put out. It's not everything that you are able to put out because of certain security implications.
But then you leave us to speculate.
However,
and say,
however, it suffices to state that there were important, election operation had to be done nationwide, and there needed to be that collaboration between various
So it's election
agencies.
related?
That is the information we got. And so...
From the minister?
Yes, that's the information we got from the minister. Okay. And for which certain weapons had to be given to sister agency. And so it is a matter, the Ghana Armed Forces are very meticulous in their record keeping. So not even a single ammunition will leave without a proper record of it. And then whoever is receiving it, the type of armor, the type of ammunition that is going out, and the purpose for which it is going out. So that record we can easily obtain at Ghana Armed Forces. So it is a matter, as we speak now, of retrieving the weapons from the agency that came to take them for that specific operation. Okay. And so if for months now, there seems to be difficulty in having that retrieved, we will step in and support. And so we'll invite the relevant actors within this particular operation and interrogate further, and we'll be able to nip this in the bud. So the public should restrain not to scandalize the security agencies at this point in time until we have really concluded all the necessary investigations that have to be done. And then if some impropriety comes to the fore, that is when. But at the moment, it's a matter of whoever signed for it, getting the agency or the persons to bring it. So now when it comes to national security, one thing that we all must appreciate is that there is no force called national security. National security is just a secretariat. It's a secretariat that coordinates, engages in coordinating activities and operations of security agencies. And so the National Security Secretariat is that small. So we need to put that in perspective. But it has
personnel, doesn't it?
How many personnel do they have? Because national security is just a secretariat. And they are coordinating between NIB, Ghana Police Service, Ghana Armed Forces, Ghana Immigration, and all relevant security agencies within NACOC, within the national security architecture. So they play a coordinating role. But sometimes we overly ascribe certain, powers and functions and mandates to national security and make them even bigger and more powerful than Ghana Armed Forces or Ghana Police. So we need to put that in perspective. And so it's not going to be sufficient to say that we are putting it at the doorstep of national security and expect that just by offloading the responsibility to national security, we are going to see an expeditious resolution of the matter. I think that the Ghana Armed Forces have what it takes to be able to resolve this, and they would do so in collaboration with whoever came to take it. And so we'll step in, we'll have a lot of in-house meetings and engage all the key actors in this. We'll support the ministry to ensure the retrieval of all these ammunitions are done.
I will come back to you, or we will come back to you. But let's go on the phone lines and wrap up with Dr. Norman. Doc, so for you, will it be your proposal that the Parliamentary Committee on Defense and Interior comes into this development?
Because maybe they will not be aware of the movement, but they should be part of the investigative team or the inquiry team to find out who received them, as the Honorable Ntimfoje was saying, and what was the purpose, and who released them from the armory, who signed it on the sheet for the movement to occur, when and how it was done. So the inventory is there, and I believe that this is not a test situation where groups like TNI or York should come in, because nobody is accusing anybody of stealing anything. As I said before, let us not demonize Ghana Army. I work for the Ghana Army, and
I'm not defending it. I'm just objectively exploring through on the accusation and let us go after it. What Honorable Dr. Manin Kwama said is very important because if he hasn't brought it out, Honorable Kim Pojo maybe may not have been so keen in trying to find out where the ministries are. So it's a collaborative and there's no blame anybody for now until we get to the end of the inquiry, and then we can say that since some of it is missing, and if it's missing, then we can then begin to bring criminal action against those people that were involved. At the point, the chain of custody has to be established, and where they are missing, then we have to look when it is okay and go after those people along the chain of custody and do them of criminal conduct.
Okay. We're grateful to you.
Yeah, just right before you go, now that we know that it is election related, does it change your perspective in terms of exactly why it was transferred and the lack of, accountability on it thereafter? And even if, well, I want to call it the shortfall of ammunition, does it do anything to reduce the morale or influence the morale and operational capacity of the Ghana Armed Forces?
I don't think it should change. I have always preached worst case scenario to security agencies that any public event, think of the worst case scenario. So it could be part of the theory of worst case scenario. What about if the election gets out of control and there's violence and like we saw in Kenya under Ruto, President Ruto. I believe that was a preparation for worst case scenario that they took those measures. Let us be gentle and give them wisdom, the wisdom for our leaders, FP or NDP, that they know what could happen and predict what could happen and prepare such contingencies.
Well, thank you so much for joining us this morning. So we'll let you go now and then focus in studio. So that there is Dr. Ishmael Norman. He's president, Institute for Security, Disaster and Emergency Studies. Back to you, Kojo and Reverend.
Reverend, the minister says irregular. In your briefing, how did he come to the conclusion that these were irregular? What did he say exactly?
No, for us, all that we know, the impression that was created was that there was a movement of ammunition from Ghana Armed Forces to a sister security agency, which at the time had not been returned.
Okay.
And then we had assurance. We asked how it was going to be addressed. The minister offered us assurances of how he intends to address it. And this was an in-house meeting. I think that for the purpose for which the minister will come out public, I do not know why he would come out public. But once he has come public with it, then it means that we can hold a public discussion on this. But beyond it, I'm more interested in how it ought to be resolved.
Okay.
And its resolution is simple. It lies in, let's go to the basics. One, to establish the fact that, as I earlier made, when you have movements of munitions from Ghana Armed Forces to another sister agency, it cannot be irregular, it cannot be inappropriate. If there are, you may call it irregular or inappropriate if it is established that maybe the designated officials that ought to have signed or authorized were not the ones who probably did it.
Okay.
But definitely a civilian would not be the one who would go and authorize for the release of certain specific ammunition to another sister security. So it's not a very dangerous act to say that it's not as if it was stolen. It's not as if no one knows about that movement or the safeguard nature of the agency that was in receipt of same. That those matters are not risky at all. But we are yet to get into the bottom. Now we'll get into it, and then we'll establish all the bases. Okay. We'll know who signed the inventory, who released it, who signed to receive it, the purpose beyond what we have been informed, and where they are, how many have come in, and where the rest are, and then we'll get them retrieved.
You seem to be saying that we shouldn't blow this out of proportion, that there's no looming danger. But the impact of this could be there in terms of the impact on our national security, that we have thousands of ammunition that, as we speak, is unaccounted for. And that's a word that the minister used. You are ranking member of the committee in Parliament in terms of defense and, defense. What do you think is the impact of the unaccountability of these thousands of ammunition we're talking about?
It would have been it's concerning. I mean, at the outset, I'm not downplaying the fact that this is a matter that should be swept under the carpet. But it would have been more concerning if the narrative was that the ammunition did not move from Ghana Armed Forces to another sister security agency. If it was such that the ammunition moved from Ghana Armed Forces, AMRI, and then they are not sure where it went.
Is that not the story?
No. The narrative and the briefing we received from the minister is that a sister agency came to Ghana Armed Forces and received a certain specific number of ammunition for the election operation, and it hasn't been returned yet. So that is the narrative.
Which means that as we speak, we don't know exactly where it is.
It is within the security service.
It's within the security
service. So it's a matter of that sister security agency returning same. If that sister security agency comes back to say that, for instance, maybe we came to take 100 and we have only been able to return 80, and that the 20, we cannot account for it. That is where further questions and interrogations will come in. Okay. And if we get to a point where we think that the concerning nature should be escalated, we would apprise the public. But as it stands now, there should not be any cause for alarm until proven otherwise.
Okay, you've said earlier that you would now go into it. Do you take it that the committee will now get into the matter? You call the minister and
absolutely, it's a matter that we are taking we're taking seriously, and we are going to invite the minister, but beyond the minister, the key actors within the inventory value chain and the specific agencies who were mentioned, or who was mentioned to have been the one that came to receive it, the personnel that took it on behalf of that security agency, and on the side of Ghana Armed Forces, the officers or the designated officials who transacted that authorization. We'll go into that and we'll establish the facts and we'll resolve it. And so, like I said, just as a lot of issues were sensationalized around the missing ECG containers, I just hope that this will also be one that will easily be found.
When will the meeting happen so we can track?
This matter just came to the fore. So we will engage, and subject to the earliest availability, we'll schedule that engagement.
Let's talk about...
because I was going to take him to the Delhi Guide and talk about presidential jet. Is that what you wanted to
I wanted to stay on the military for a bit because I want to get into the stored military recruitment and the blame on previous governments.
Okay.
Right. So we know that... We're not happy to oblige. We know that 2,000 individuals, more than 2,000, I'm just giving a ballpoint figure, the employment status in the military remains uncertain. What does this really mean? I mean, if you're talking about people who've already gone through some sort of training, but we are talking about the proper nature of the processes. Are we talking about procedural breaches? Are we saying that we're going to sack these people? How do you read this issue?
The briefing I listened from the minister, my understanding is that a little over 2,000 or about 2,500 were applicants who applied to the Ghana Armed Forces for specific recruitment, and they had passed certain selection processes, initial selection processes. They had done medicals, they had done body selection, and they had been considered eligible, 2,872 specifically, and they had been considered eligible to go for training. However, the financial clearance that ought to have been secured from Ministry of Finance was not granted, and for which their training did not take place. And so they remain people who had been cleared to go for training but had not been trained. So no form of armed forces training or security training at all has been undertaken. So they are considered as a backlog. And now there's also a broader conversation of having plans of recruiting 12,000 military personnel every year for the next 3 years or 4 years, which is a move I consider laudable. I also have got wind of the conversation, which was signaled by the president, that he intends to take the recruitment further down to various regions. And for such a move, I cannot disagree, and that we all must support every move that will ensure that recruitment into various security agencies are made closer to the people as much as possible, even if operationally feasible, and it can be taken to the districts. Let's support the Ghana Armed Forces to take it to the district. But at the moment, my understanding is that it's going to be done to every region. So if the government has secured financial clearance for 12,000 new recruitments, my forceful suggestion will be that the 2,872 applicants who had been cleared previously, but for constraint of financial clearance, were unable to undertake training, they should be given first consideration. And so in that application, some dispensation will have to be made for them. But of course, this was done some 3 years or so ago. And so the medical circumstances may have changed.
Yes.
I will not support that in the interest of getting the backlog a preferential arrangement. They should just go in without ascertaining their medical eligibility afresh. So, but they should be considered first and taken through the processes. They ought to be given the opportunity to undertake medicals, body selection, so that if the past 3 years anything has changed, they will be sure and to be able to reassess the 2,872 to know their present condition and how many of them. You are likely to have about 85% or so of them who are very likely to still be in good condition, that are fit to undergo training. But we should not jettison that number. We should not just throw them away to say that they are in the backlog and therefore they should all be thrown away, and that we are now going to focus on a fresh 12,000.
The minister give a response to that. They will be given the consideration. They can still apply. But my point is that if they can still apply, do they have to still pay?
So that is where I'm saying that they don't have to apply.
Okay.
And I agree with your point. And I heard that you were forcefully going on that and you were concerned about the money they paid. Yes. Are they going to be paid back? And so to cure that controversy, and in all fairness, these were people who were eligible. But the state did not have sufficient funding to obtain them financial clearance, to get them to training. So if now we have the wherewithal to recruit 12,000, let the 2,872 who had previously gone through the processes be given the opportunity to undertake medicals. A simple arrangement can be made for all of them because they have their contacts, they are in their database, they can reach out to them and first schedule them to undergo training and body selection without having to apply. Because why do you have to apply? You're applying so that you get into the database and so that they will have your basic information to contact you to kickstart the process. But these are already in. You don't want them to now pay for additional, a new fee to buy forms. That would be tantamount to refunding them what they paid previously. So let's consider them in, but they must do medicals afresh. Because maybe somebody didn't have an infection last 3 years, but now may have. Yeah. Or somebody didn't have a certain conditions, but now he has or she has. So in all fairness, this is my forceful position that I will advise.
Okay. Does this have any impact on military manpower as we speak?
The military has undertaken some structural expansion, and therefore it is important that commensurate to that expansion, we see the required number, optimum number of manpower. There are FOBs that have been constructed, are soon going to be made operationalized. There are a number of steps that have been taken. There are a number of commands that have now been upgraded to full brigade status. And so with that structural expansion, it must go with requisite deployment of manpower. So manpower needs to be available. And that is why I support that 12,000 recruitment is something we all must support. Okay. But without jettisoning the 2,872 that previously started in our backlog.
You sit at a very privileged position, more than all of us. We hear that some of these ammunitions include very high-powered ammunition that you wouldn't want to think about losing. What briefing do you have in terms of the type of ammunition that has been lost? No, see, the broader conversation on ammunition, I must put on record
that although in the past medium term, the past few years, we have seen an increase in the budgetary expenditure or allocation of the military from about 60% increase. We have been seeing it gradually, 68% increase the past 2-3 years, and then the current budget we are dealing with was also a 64% increment. So we see that steady progress towards the target, but we are still not there yet. You know, if we are looking at the optimum percentage of military expenditure as a percentage of our GDP, we are still not there yet. Even within the sub-region, and not to expose any vulnerability, but it's a matter of public record, Niger, Burkina have higher military expenditure than Ghana has. And so we need to be able to support the military and that our security agencies, as a matter of fact, Ghana Police Service, Immigration, Fire Service, Narcotic Control, all of them, to be able to be resourced to the level optimum within the modest within the modest resources of the state. We need to be able to push to that point. We haven't got there. So ammunition is a broader conversation we need to have. We need to have, there are some critical, I'm not even talking about the nice to have. So I'm talking about critical needs. So your question is tenable.
The missing ones.
So we need to, they're not missing.
Okay, the one that we cannot account for.
Yeah, we need to resolve that. Yeah. They are within the security system.
Yes, I understand.
So we have to get
what type of ammunition are we talking about?
We need to get it retrieved when we get to a point where I need to give you the full disclosure of the various ammunitions. But at this point in time, I think the larger concern of the public is that let's get them wherever they are so that they will be where they ought to be, within the armory where they ought to be. But you see, we have general weapons and ammunitions that we need to beef the Ghana Armed Forces with. When it comes to the army, we need critically armored personnel carriers, APCs. We need an optimum number for them to be able to increase and augment their preparedness in any eventuality or any emergency. They even need further armored buses. If you look at the situation in Boko, for instance, if you have the kind of armored buses in sufficient numbers, certain escalations and attacks that we saw on the Ghana Police Service and on the military will, to a large extent, will be mitigated. But when it comes to Navy, we need a broader conversation to get OPVs, that is offshore patrol vessels, at least 2. This conversation was started in the previous government. As a matter of fact, plans were far advanced to procuring. But our friends in the NDC shut it down. I wouldn't want to be in a position where I will be doing politics with our security agencies, particularly when it comes to the kind of logistics that they need. If the minister makes a case for such acquisitions, I have to support, because it is in the best interest of the state. So, for instance, if they bring the conversation on offshore patrol vessels, we station one on both sides of the shore, the tendencies of piracy will be nipped in the bud. But now coming to your presidential jet, I'm sure it's a question you...
Yes. Yeah. But before you go to the presidential jet, when you said about ammunition, I smiled because I was asking myself, so if a bomb is thrown in Ghana, for the fight that we see on television, there are some things that are able to dispel the bombs. Do you have anything like that?
Yes, so it's also one of the weapons or one of the gadgets that has been classified as key and critical requirement, the area drones, and even the weaponized type, such that it can take area surveillance and issue. I am pushing, and I would call forcefully for the weaponized type, so that in case of any threats, there and then it can deal with it. And so these are the kind of support we should be giving to the Ghana Armed Forces, and be urging the government to find money wherever they are, because these are very urgent. We shouldn't say Ghana is a peaceful country, and so we are going to be there whilst every other country is shoring up their armory and the resourcefulness of their armed forces. We would say we are a peaceful country. We have to prioritize. We need to resort to innovative financing to be able to get the Ghana Armed Forces the kind of required aerial drones that are weaponized.
On that score, I hope we had time. We would have then gone into the budget of the army this year, because you know that Over 90% or so is dedicated to salaries. So how much more can they dedicate to ammunition? But let's go to the presidential jets now. Well. I mean, we'll find another time for us to go into the budget allocation of the military.
That would be very necessary.
And all of that. But why did your government leave the presidential jets in the way they left it? That today is being grounded in France.
You know, so the impression should not be created that one government ran down military equipment or mishandled military equipment, and for that matter, a certain government ran down a presidential jet. If you go on that tangent, you will not get support for what the country state has to do.
Okay.
Let us put in perspective. When was the Falcon purchased? It was purchased under President Kufuor, way back then. Way back from President Kufuor's time. We have had various presidents who had used it. And see, whenever you purchase a particular presidential jet, it has regular maintenance and ought to be undertaken. And anytime you get there, and this has to go to France, and for them to be doing the servicing, they have to make sure that it is worthy to fly before they bring it back. You recall under President Akufo-Addo, there were many occasions where the flight was not even available. The presidential jet was not available for several months, or sometimes between 3 months to 6 months. It was grounded for maintenance. And those were the times where exigencies required the president to resort to private jets for certain essential presidential travels. And my friends on the NDC, led by my good friend Honorable Kujeto Ablakwa, completely demonized that arrangement. You see, and it is the same plane. So a plane that some 4-6 years ago could be grounded for 6 months, could be grounded for 3 months. It's the same plane we are talking about. So if today it is also grounded for another 3 months or 6 months, it is nothing strange. And it's not the first time that it has to undergo. But I support for whatever number of months it has to be grounded for it to receive adequate maintenance, for it to be considered fit. I will support. Because, see, we are talking about the life of the president here. And so we should not try to trivialize or politicize conversation around presidential jets. If anyone going to fly any aircraft at all, whether private, whether commercial, you want to be sure that it is worthy to fly before you get in there.
Yeah.
You wouldn't want an aircraft that was rushed in maintenance and just brought because it was needed. We are talking about the life of the president.
You raise serious questions about our maintenance culture. And I'm tempted to say, was your side that started raising questions as to why the president, in the first few months or so in his office, he was flying his brother's jet to go on presidential business. You were the ones who raised the concern. But if you, or if your administration, the SWAL administration, had maintained the jets to maybe a reasonable level, do you think that it will be grounded in the first few months of this administration?
No, so sweetie, what I need
what is the maintenance culture for?
The impression I need to correct is that, when it comes to the maintenance of a presidential jet, it is not like the maintenance of a vehicle, where it can be at the discretion of the security agency to say, these patrol pickups, will schedule them from next month or 2 months. They have fixed time, and the manufacturer has fixed schedule. When it gets there, they won't grant, if you refuse to even send it for maintenance, you won't be given the certificate to fly. So it is that tight that it leaves no room for the discretion of any chief of air staff or chief of defense staff or minister for defense. When it is time, it has to go. And so at no point within the history of the presidential jet will you say that culture of maintenance was a problem. But it's because of the age of the jets. Yes, and then the maintenance that the older it gets, the more difficult it is to maintain.
So with this background, why did we make such a ceremony out of it that the president couldn't fly the jet?
So why did the NDC make a big ceremony out of it when the president had to use? Is it the first time I heard presidential travels politicized or made a topic for political discussion was NDC when they were in opposition.
Is it a tit for tat?
They even went to the no, I won't do tit for tat. No, I would never do tit for tat. Even when the vice president flew private jet, I support us. No, because if there's for some reason the presidential jet is not available, the determination of the security handlers is that she ought to fly on a private jet. She has to fly on a private jet. If the president, as we speak now, President Mahama has to embark on any presidential travel, and because of the unavailability of the presidential jet, has to use a private jet. Why should I criticize that or make it a topic for discussion?
But the defense minister says, that does not
I'm coming. I'm making a point. But I condemn anybody who would politicize the presidential travel, because the presidential travel is a very risky business. The conversation we must be having now is that, having determined that the presidential jet is not fit for purpose, even for the past 4 years or so, we should be bold. It's not just today. For the past, if I'll give you the maintenance record of the presidential jet, for the past 4 years or so, we should have started supporting. The opposition should have even started supporting the conversation, instead of bastardizing the president for using private jet, to supporting the call for the purchase, the procurement of a new private presidential jet fit for purpose. And so I shouldn't say because I'm MPP and as a President Mahama, I would not support it. I will support if they make a case and there's a befitting presidential jet that has to be procured for President Mahama. I, in Team Fodio, will support. Let us do so and get one that is suited to the kind of travels we have. Because the president doesn't travel alone. He will travel with his entourage.
So that's our
time. Let's
time.
have that conversation and take politics out of it.
Right.
And
that day is Reverend John
of our president
in Team Fodio. Thank you. He's ranking member of Ghana's Parliamentary Committee on Defense and Interior, and he joined us this morning on all related matters. Stay with us. We're in the third hour of the AM show. We'll be back after this break.
All right, welcome back to the AM show here on the Joy News channel. Let's talk about climate change, because the Environmental Education and Lifelong Learning Africa Region Conference is coming up at the British Council Auditorium, and we want to have a conversation on this. I've been joined in the studio by people who know much more about this. We have Nana Apakranchi the 7th. He is chief of Ekumfi Abaka, and also a member of the advisory board of the Pan-African Center for Climate Policy, PACC. Good morning to you, Nana, and thanks for coming.
Good morning.
I also have in studio Kwame Ntiamwa Ntimi, secretary of the Planning Committee of EELL 2025 conference, and also the newly elected SRC president of the greatest university ever in Ghana, University of Cape Coast. Hi, good morning to you.
Good morning, Pedro.
And congrats there.
Thank you very much, and thank you for having us.
Okay. Okay, all right, then. So let me start with you here. Let's talk about climate change before we even get into the conference. And then when we talk about climate change and the current development and in our ability to help people adapt, where do we stand as a country?
Okay, so the climate change issue as a country, Ghana, yes, we are bearing the brunt already because you can see the atmospheric changes, the heats, the weather, the rainfall patterns, they have all changed. If you go to the farming areas, you know, we had minor rainy season, and then major rainy season. But now the major rainy season has become minor rainy season, and the minor rainy season is almost gone. And these are real effects of, or impact, negative impact of climate change. Yes, so if you find forests that are being dissipated, and then you know, the heat that we feel in the atmosphere, you know, when you step out, it's now raining, so we don't feel it that much. But, you know, prior to the rains, anytime you step outside, it was excruciating, the heat. So these are real effects, and they are as a result of certain chemicals being released by industry and others through into the atmosphere, which, you know, militates against the protection
the ozone layer that protects, you know, us from the sun. So yes, we are going through it, and the fisher folks know about it, the farmers know about it. Yeah, so it is high time, and the fact that we are also losing our forest cover to logging, galamsey, and others is not making it better.
But we've implemented several measures. We've been to COPs, and we've stated what we want to do as a country. I want to understand where we are in terms of our effort to reduce the impact of climate change on us as residents of this country.
Okay, so we have realized that for the first time in our national history, President John Mahama has actually appointed a minister, a whole minister in charge of climate change and sustainability. Yeah. And his office, it's interesting to know that his office is actually within the presidency. So it's within just a call from the president. So we see that. We also see the efforts that have been rolled out against galamsey, the gold board to regulate the activities of small-scale mining, even the appointment of a well-known globally, somebody who has been working very hard through the environment, sustainability, climate change field. That is somebody like Professor Nanama Brown Kluche to head such a position. These are all signs that the government is making serious efforts to, roll out measures in mitigating the climate change effect. But yes, this is only the government. The government cannot handle all this and succeed, because the government, whatever they are doing, they must affect the people, or they must do them through the people before any real impact could be felt. So what I see from PAC Policy, as a board member of PAC Policy, a Canadian organization that has footprint in Ghana, is to make sure that as government is doing their part from the top, we are also, as chiefs, as other traditional leaders, religious leaders, grassroots leaders, and everybody is also on board doing the best that they can. That is why this conference is actually focused on harnessing indigenous knowledge and approach. Okay. Indigenous knowledge and approach in fighting against climate change, environmental degradation, and sustainability. Because if you realize in the time past, when chiefs were fully in charge of their communities, there were these customary practices, rules, taboos, and co that used to guide our use of the land, the forest, our rivers, the sea, like Tuesday, staying away from the sea or fishing, not going to certain rivers on certain days, not going to, there were certain forests that were banned to ordinary people. These were all conservation measures from the traditional perspective. We have come to a point where modernization, foreign religion, try to downplay this and demonize them. But we've realized that after that, things are not going well. So it is time for the traditional authorities and everybody, religious authorities, to come together and join hands with the scientists who are also, doing work towards that. And then with the government support, I believe it's a holistic approach that will enable all of us to help fight this war that is not just for the government, but the whole of the country.
Okay, thank you very much, Nana. So let me bring you Kwame Ntiamona. Kwame, so what do you seek to achieve with this conference?
All right, thank you very much, Kwejo, and once again, a very good morning to your cherished viewers and listeners. For us, I strongly believe that as Nana rightly said, the government has done its part where implementation has been duly done. The question we ask ourselves when we come down to the ordinary person, the ordinary Ghanaian walking on the street, the ordinary market woman at the market, the ordinary lecturer who is in class, what implementation strategies have they personally taken? So this whole conference is trying to bring everybody, that every stakeholder on board, so that at the end of the day, we could speak about these climate issues and these environmental sustainability issues so that we can protect the land. The whole goal is to help us protect our land. 50 years to come, there was a peer review article that said that in 50 years, if we do not take care of the land and even the sea, the number of plastics in the sea will be more than the total number of fishes in the sea. The question we ask ourselves, do we really want to get to this point? So this is why this conference is being organized, to bring all stakeholders together so that we bring our expertise, your ideas together, and we go back. Because at the end of the day, if I'm going to buy something and I'm putting the rubbish down, the question I ask myself is, am I contributing to protecting the land or I'm not contributing? And this is what we seek to achieve, that the ordinary Ghanaian person out there will understand the importance, the essence, and how pertinent the land is to us as well.
Let me bring in the Chief Director of the Ministry of Climate Change and Sustainability. Nana mentioned that particular ministry. Yes. Cedric Jelu is joining us via Zoom. I'm grateful to you, sir, for joining here. Now, let's look at the 3 R's that we set out to implement in order to help mitigate climate change and its impact on our environment. How are we doing?
Yes, hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you now, sir.
Good. Let me, first of all, start by greeting you and commending the leadership of Nana and the team for putting this conference together. And in doing so, our office is partnering to provide coordination effort, in this regard. I must say that this conference is timely. Why? Because for far too long, traditional leadership, has been left out in terms of how we approach issues like climate change and development issues, in general. And one can say that indigenous knowledge is also very key in terms of how we bring about development. And our office is strategically, positioned towards ensuring that partners like that of EELL will be able to have the platform to convene such high-powered, activities or engagement. Because truly speaking, we consider land, not just as an economic asset, but a spiritual, communal, and cultural resource. It is something that, so much attachment, comes with so much attachment. People have so much, deep link and connection with their land. However, modern land use, like agribusiness, real estate, mining, infrastructure development, has come to often, threaten this whole process. That is why we identify ourselves with this. Now, in terms of the 3 R's, that is to reduce, the reuse, recycle, we believe that also finds its space in how we use our land. Okay. And I was excited when I heard Nana talk about how we have left indigenous, knowledge in our development approach. Because look, it is not for any reason or for the fun of it to say that we had those folklore, stories, traditional beliefs, taboos and norms that were the vanguards of protecting our land and conservation. You do know that when we were very young, we said that this is an evil forest, and so that nobody should go to the evil forest. Yeah. I mean, to a very large extent, we saw how those forests did. I mean, you saw how those forests blossom, huge trees, and if someone could even dare go there, you could see the resources that were available. You could say that don't go to fishing on Tuesday. All of these stories and norms, were things that we can say that indigenous knowledge. They protected the land, they protected the forest, they protected biodiversity. But today, development approaches have kind of sidelined, at the place that traditional belief has in terms of protecting our land. That is why the Office of the Minister for Climate Change is excited to be connected with this. But before I continue, let me correct something. I see that you've written Chief Director at the Ministry of Climate Change. Please, I would like you to correct that. So I serve as the Technical Director at the Office of the Minister for Climate Change and Sustainability. So it is not Chief Director, and it is also not a ministry. It is Office of the Minister Portfolio at the Presidency. Now, that done, it is important that we kind of balance, corporate interest, with the traditional interest. Because more often than not, corporation tends to, outweigh, traditional or customary rights or considerations because they have the money, they enter into community. But I'm excited that it is, a chief, Nana Kranchi the seventh, who is leading this. I'm excited that it is traditional leaders themselves who are leading this. Why? Because we all do know that you cannot enter any community without the blessing of traditional
families, of the traditional leader. Okay.
Yes, we know. Yeah. There's no way. There's no way in Africa that you can actually enter anywhere to do any business with traditional authorities. And I've been to different programs where people have questioned that if we complain that government is not doing this, the police is not doing this, what about the traditional authorities?
Okay, Sadi. And I'm grateful to you, Cedric Jelu, for joining us. And I'm sure that we'll meet there at this particular conference and have much more discussion about how this can be done. But in terms of before we go, your theme is quite interesting. Sustainable futures, bridging African traditions with modern land use in the face of corporatization. Really, what are you looking at? Why this theme? Nana, if you may want to take that.
Yes, we all know that, as I've enumerated, the customary rules and regulations that actually guide the use of land and the natural resources within our vicinities. Yes, we revere the rivers, the deities, because we see the deities in them, the gods. So we revere the rivers, we revere the land, we revere the forest, we revere the sea and all other natural resources. So as chiefs and living with our people, we are able to control and tell them, don't do this, don't do that, don't do this. All in the name of preserving what we came to meet in order to have the best benefit from it and then even be able to pass it on to the next generation. But then corporatization comes in. Now, a Chinese company, Indian company, European, American company comes to take maybe 1,000, 2,000 acres of land from you, the chief. They are doing their business. How do you go to the Chinese man, Indian man, you don't even understand their language, to tell them this river on Tuesday, don't go and work there? That is the challenge. So the traditions that are protecting the environment, corporatization comes in, and so now we must come together, sit down before any organization comes to take your land, let them know that this and this and this are the rules that have protected and
more
preserved.
Like the do's and don'ts.
Let them know
about the land
before they even acquire the land, so that you don't have a challenge going to, while they are destroying your river and you sit helplessly. Sign agreement with them. Do your mining, but get off the river, because the river provides sustenance to the people of this land.
I'm grateful to you. Nana Kranchi the seventh is chief of Ekunfi Abacus and also a member of the advisory board of Pan-African Center for Climate Policy, PAC Policy, and they are organizing the Environmental Education Lifelong Learning Africa Region Conference at the British Council Auditorium here in Accra on the 24th and 25th at the British Council. Thank you very much, Nana, for coming. I'm grateful to you. Our time is up. I mean, we've indicated that the conference is coming up at the auditorium of the British Council on the 24th and 25th of July. So
where there will be certification, which is optional. So
thank you very much. I'm grateful to you.
Thank you very much.
Well, we'll take a break here. But my brother, Parkun Kumsin, today is your birthday. So Parkun Kumsin, wherever you are, God bless you. You are a good man, and God will keep on elevating you. We'll take a break here. We'll be back with more. Do stay.
Ladies and gentlemen of corporate Ghana, the moment is finally here with us. Yes, it's the Joy Sports Invitational Tournament 2025 happening at the University of Ghana Stadium on August 9, 2025. You know what to do already, don't you? Just call Slevin on 0540-106-466 to register and be a part of this amazing experience full of great competition, wonderful networking, or what will be the honors to bragging rights for 1 full year. The Joy Sports Invitational Tournament is put together by Joy Sports, the thrill of the game. So which trophy are you taking back to your office? CEO's penalty shootout, male soccer, female penalty shootout, table tennis, unisex relay, lawn tennis, unisex basketball, unisex sack race, tug of peace, arm wrestling, the 5-kilometer race walk, masters 50-meter dash, unisex lime and spoon relay, and swimming. Well, the ball is in your court. We look forward to seeing you, and just make sure that your corporate institution answers the roll call on August 9, 2025 at the University of Ghana Stadium. The Joy Sports Invitational Tournament is sponsored by Royal Suite Limited, Akono Ginger, Ifiwara, Ayuda, Ghana's leading services app, Abacus, Services Bibre, Game Energy Drink, Feel the Energy, Yomi Yogurt, a nourishing choice, and the luckiest, star 712 hash, luck is everywhere. The Joy Sports Invitational Tournament is put together by Joy Sports, the thrill of the game.
Welcome back to the AM show. Let's talk about the Global Conference on Human Resources in Africa. I have 3 guests to help us put all this in perspective. Rita Kusi, she's Head of Strategy and Execution at GCRHA 2025. And Jemima Ashete is Head of Marketing, Jobberman Ghana. And Emmanuel Woyome is Director of Training, SHRP Ghana. I want to start with Emmanuel, but welcome to the AM show. Emmanuel, I'm not familiar with SHRP Ghana, so let's start from there.
Right. So SHRP Ghana is a community of human resource professionals. We are a number of over 3,000, and so we meet for continuous professional development among members. But within that, we have the SHRP Ghana Limited, which is an HR company, and so I handle the training aspect of the company.
So this is also in your purview.
Exactly.
So now let's talk about the Global Conference on Human Resources. And Rita, it's good to see you again.
It's good to see you again.
Okay, so let's start there. Sure. Introduce us to, I'm familiar with what the conference is about, but for the benefits of our audience who are only hearing about it, exactly what is this conference about?
Sure, and thank you so much for asking. It's a pleasure to be here. You know, Joy News or Joy Multimedia is a partner to this conference. So we're really excited. Last year, we were here talking about GCHRE. Last year was the initial conference. So this year, we are taking it a step further. I think my colleagues here would agree, especially Mr. Woyome, who's also involved in HR. We can all agree that the role of HR has changed quite significantly, right? I've been in HR for 20 years, not to give away my age, but you know, I've been in HR for 20 years, and we've seen the HR landscape transform from administrative to strategy. And now HR is actually leading workforce transformation across businesses globally. And so for us at GCHRA, the conference is happening August 13th to 16th at the Kempinski Hotel. And our mission really is to empower Africa's workforce. And I'm sure you are well aware that Africa's population is projected to be the leading population by 2050. So GCHRA aims to bring together global experts, HR thought leaders in the same space so that we can have conversations on how best we can obviously, you know, pour into the next generation of Africa's workforce.
I have to ask you though, before I go to Jemima, how did the first one go? So this would be the second time you're doing the conference. The maiden one was last year.
Yes, it
was. Let's talk about how successful it was.
It was incredible, and I think the outpouring of support from some of our sponsors, including Jobberman Ghana, of course, Mr. Woyome, as well.
Oh, so the photos are on your screen now. That's beautiful.
So yes, you get to see how the conference was. But, you know, for that to have been the maiden event, it was spectacular. We had about 400 in-person participants. We had 50 people that joined us virtually. We had the sponsors there. We had the exhibitors there. And the conversations were so enriching. GCHR is not just a conference, okay? It's a movement. It's a movement. And what we are doing right now is we're shaping the evolution of HR in Africa.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a movement. And the last thing that I'll actually add to it is that we invited the SHRM CEO and president last year to keynote.
Yeah.
Immediately after the event, they wanted to sponsor.
They're stuck with you.
They wanted to sponsor because they saw potential in what we were building and growing across the continent.
I like that. Yeah. So Jobberman is also a sponsor, right? And Jemima, you are head of marketing for Jobberman Ghana.
Yes.
Let's talk about the intention behind sponsoring or partnering, or being a partner really, of GCHRA 2025. What are your objectives? At the end of this conference, what do you hope to achieve?
So, thanks to both of them for speaking ahead of me.
Yeah.
So as Rita Riley said, Africa is the future for the next workforce, and by 2050. So obviously, for Jobberman, with what we do, we are obviously bridging the gap between the employers and the job seekers.
True.
And it's quite important that we equip our talent as much as we also look at our recruitment process. So this platform is actually going to enable us to bridge this gap together, because when we look at our employment force, it's not like there's a shortage of talent, but it's the connection gap. So what are the skill sets that we are going and bringing on board? How are they leveraging on this AI platforms? These are some of the things that we want to have conversations about. And we have to start now. And of course, Jobberman has been a leader in this space. We've been doing this for 13 years, been using this AI thing for a long time. We obviously want to be part of this conversation and shape the future for what we want it to be.
I like that. And that brings me to you, Mr. Woyome. So Rita said that HR started as an administrative role, went into strategy, and now they're leading the workforce, which I agree with. Everything, I think your success as a company depends on how strong your HR is, because if your workforce, your human resource is not satisfied, you're not getting any productivity out of them. And you've also made another important point, that is the connection gap. Yeah. You know, it means there's a disconnection between the jobs available and the people who fit that role. So what does the future of HR look like? And maybe in the course of the conversation, I may bring up Coldplay and what that means. I think it started a revolution. But let's start from what does the future of HR look like as we speak?
Right. Yes. So like Rita rightly said, the HR is changing. And it's not just the profession that is changing. The world of work itself is changing, and especially driven by technology. AI has been in existence for years, but since 2022, when OpenAI launched ChatGPT, I think the world got to know more about AI. And so beyond AI, technology in general is driving this change in the workplace. And beyond the HR professional getting equipped to use those tools themselves, they are also responsible for leading a transformation of the entire organization. And that's why it is important that when we, the HR, we get it right, we can pass on that understanding to the wider community of the workforce. And so technology is much changing. You'll be surprised, even in the educational sector, you might be studying a particular course in the university at level 100. By the time you graduate at level 400, that particular technology is no more, or is kind of obsolete. The same way the workplace is changing, and so we need to keep abreast with the change in order to keep our strategies relevant at any point in time. In the absence of that, it could be like, even like an individual. Our apps will prompt us to update, and when you don't update, you are locked out. So a lot of companies are kind of outdated, meaning they are yet to update their apps to align with the current 100% drivers or new apps that are in the system. And a conference like the GCHR will help us to lead that awareness driving or that transformation for people to really understand that if you don't catch up with what is changing, you may likely stay behind, and that will obviously affect your growth potentials.
I like that point. And I want to throw it to you, Rita. I mean, it's a beautiful submission you just gave, and I think it's a very fast evolving space, AI, you know. So I believe this year's theme will cater for that. So let's talk about exactly what you've put together that will deal with real life challenges and how the AI revolution is taking over everything. What is the theme for this year?
Perfect. So for this year with the conference, we obviously want to talk more about the productivity in using these technologies for efficiency, for ease at the workplace. The reality of it is that the technologies are here. They exist, right? But it's up to us as a continent to adapt it, but then also to shape it in such a way that it works for us as Africans, and that we're not adapting technologies from outside. That is just not really benefiting us. So we are talking about workforce productivity. We're talking about, you know, maximizing the use of AI technologies across the workforce. So that's what I would add to.
All right. So because you said adopt and change and shape, I'm curious to know, you know, that the way we use AI has changed. It's not just about asking questions and getting responses. Now it's about the kind of prompt you give whatever software you're using. In your extensive experiences, I mean, we have decades between among the three of you. Do you think that AI is actually taking over jobs? Do you think that people are risking?
That's a great question.
Are we at a risk? Is AI going to take my job at some point?
It's a great question. AI is most certainly taking over certain jobs. And it's not just AI, it's humans taking over other jobs.
Yeah.
And the reason being that those humans have actually upgraded themselves, right, to understand the technologies, to prompt the technologies you just mentioned. I'll use a colleague of mine, for instance. He's literally used prompt engineering to create music videos, and now he's sought after by a lot of African, you know, production companies.
Okay.
So it's about how you are actually using the technologies. When we talk about digital transformation, we're not even just talking about the technologies. We're also talking about people. Right? HR has become more people-centric. It's about how you teach or coach people within your organizations to leverage these technologies for efficiency.
Listening to you, I just can't wait to listen to you more at the conference. So let's talk about the details in terms of who are the speakers coming, when exactly it's happening, who's invited, and when does it start?
So I want to talk about one key objective because we were on the topic of objectives. So
sorry, I'm rushing because of time.
It's fine. We are all aware of the critical gaps between the education to employment pipeline.
Academia and industry.
Yes. So recently, when at the SHRM National Conference in San Diego, Emily M. Dickens, she's the chief of staff at SHRM. She's going to be joining us along with other executives from SHRM, Johnny C. Taylor, Andrew Bilodeau. And the focus for us as well is to be able to bridge the gaps between the education and employment pipeline. So for this event, we actually have some stakeholders from the public sector. Dr. Stella Ajenim Boateng, who is vice chair of the Public Services Commission. We also have Honorable Abdul Rashid Palpua, who is the Minister of Employment, Labor and Jobs. That's also joining us. We're extending an invitation to the Education Minister. So we're bringing these stakeholders from government. We also have someone joining us from Ashesi, from government, from industry, and also from academia to be able to have these conversations. So, of course, Dr. Francis Aduku, he is the CEO of CIHRM Ghana. He's going to be in the room. Speaking of the technologies, we have Nicole Herskowitz, who is the corporate VP of Microsoft 365 and Copilot.
All right.
So we
have to go.
No, it's fine.
And so here's what I would want to do. Give us a contact or a website so that people who want more information can get it.
Most definitely. So you can visit gchrafrica.com or you can call 055-408-1727. Again, gchrafrica.com, or you can call 055-408-1727.
Thank you so much.
No problem.
And Jemima, I want you to do this in 30 seconds. Invite people to come. That's it. 30 seconds.
So I'll invite all HRs to be there. This is the future. you need to be a part of it, because if you're not using AI to make your recruitment seamless, you'll be left behind. And of course, it comes with penalties. So don't miss out. This is going to be great. See you there.
I like that. It comes with penalties. You have the final word, Mr. Woyome.
Right. So just calling on the business community in Ghana, in Africa in general, that on the 13th of August to the 16th, we are inviting you to the Global Conference on HR in Africa, GCHRA, at the Kempinski Hotel in Accra. See you in your numbers with your executive team, not only HR professionals. Thank you.
So, yes, so before we end, I really just want to shout out our key sponsors, Sherm National. We have Kempinski on board, of course, Jabberman. Yeah. We have Seamless HR. So their chief of staff is going to be joining us in the session. We also have...
Please visit the website and get all the information you need. And Rita Kusi is head of strategy and execution, GCHRA 2025. Jemima Ashete is head of marketing, Jobberman Ghana, and Emmanuel Woyome is director of training at Strep Ghana, and they join us for this conversation. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Okay, you have to stay with us. There's more coming your way on the AM show. We'll be right back. Cannot end the show today without talking about the EcoBank Joy News Habitat Fair. The second clinic comes off from the 25th to the 27th of July, and you want to stay with me for all the details. But I have 3 companies in here, sponsors, exhibitors, and we want to bring you all the details in terms of what you should expect at the clinic. I have here with me from Syntex Tanks, we have the sales manager, Patrick Bono. Okay, great. And we also have from Yobent, sales and marketing executive, Delphina Boahima, very pretty dark-skinned lady. And from landlordsafrica.com, we have the commercial director, Mr. Eli Senu. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the AM show.
Thank you. Thank you.
Obviously, we saw you at the first clinic of the EcoBank Joy News Habitat Fair. And so I want to start with you, Delphina from Yobent. And tell us how your experience went from the first clinic and whether or not you're excited looking ahead to the second clinic. Let's start from there.
Well, thank you for the question. We were, unfortunately, we couldn't.
You didn't come for the first one, okay.
The first one.
But this isn't your first time on the EcoBank Joy News Habitat Fair, because last year we saw you.
Exactly.
Okay, great.
We have previous experiences. Okay. It was a success. I mean, being on a platform like as the Joy News Habitat Fair, in a small platform, we got in contact with a lot of people. We got a lot of people coming to our booth to come have a look at the premium security doors we are selling out there. And they got a lot of consultation, education out there, so it was a success.
So here's the question. What makes you stand out from the other names in that same industry? What makes Yobent Security or Yobent Security Doors the go-to for all your doors?
Okay.
Let's get to your elevator pitch.
Yeah, I like that. So Yobent stands out in terms of the materials used in production. We actually use materials like the galvanized steel to manufacture our doors to suit all the weather conditions we have in Ghana. So we are not bringing doors that has already been manufactured to suit another country's weather condition, no. So whether you are in the coastal areas, the sunny areas, wherever you are, our doors suit your weather condition and you have no problem at all. And we don't just sell doors, we educate. So usually I tell my clients, before you purchase our door, we need to assess your size. That's what we call it, the pre-installation checks. So we come to your site, do all the checks so you don't purchase the wrong product.
I like that, Delphina. So let me pause with you now and go to Syntex Tank. Remember, the show is sponsored by Syntex Tank. Every day we come here, we tell you Syntex Tank are strong, are tough. Today you get to meet Patrick. Patrick, we already know Syntex Tank. But tell us what's exciting this second clinic. What should we look out for? But feel free to introduce, for the sake of those who may not know about Syntex Tank, tell us about your strong and durable tanks and colorful tanks. Let's go.
That's great. I'm so excited to be here this morning.
And Syntex tanks, we specialize in producing water storage tanks, ranging from 100 liters to 35,000 liters. As we speak now, in the whole of West Africa, we are having the biggest volume, which is 35,000 liters. And we always talk about warranty, warranty, warranty. The whole Ghana, we give 7 years warranty to fresh customers. And this year has been so exciting to Syntex tanks. We introduced our new product, that is Syntex pipes. And the pipes, we actually use pure virgin material to give good quality to our cherished customers. And we have a setup which is German technology. That is our setup. It's very key in the industry. And, for the material, we use food grade. We also use 100% virgin material that gives durable pipes.
Are you offering some discounts? Is there anything like that that our audience should look out for?
Well, for the tanks, yes, we have discounts.
Okay.
For the pipes, we have a competitive price, and it's actually cheaper in the market.
All right.
So when you pass by our stand and meet our experts, any question that you have, you ask them.
We have the answers
yes,
for
we
you.
have the answers for you.
Thank you, Patrick. So let me come to Ellie Senu now. Ellie, I want to know all about landlordafrica.com. Tell me, what's new? What do you do? What are you about? What solutions do you have for the Ghanaian people?
Okay, so Landlord Africa is a Pan-African platform. I'm sure from the name you can guess that.
Yeah.
Starting out with Ghana and then we'll branch out to other countries. Now, so it's a marketplace where you can find houses for rent, houses for sale, building materials, furnishing, and service providers. So it's like a one...
Everything housing, 360.
Yeah.
In terms of rent, lease, do you buy and sell as well?
Yeah.
Okay, so everything housing really.
With the land, joint venture deals, so maybe someone has land, but they don't have money to develop it. So we bring them together and then the developer invests in the property, they put up apartments, give them a stake.
So how does it work? Do you have a web page or an app?
Yeah, so we have a web app. So it's a progressive web app, so works on the phone, works on the browser. Yeah.
Okay. So I want to find out, we have a few minutes to wrap this up, but I want you to tell us what you're looking forward to at the second clinic, which is happening from the 25th to 27th of July this month in Tema. Want to find out if you are giving out some discounts at that place, if you have some special incentives for the customers, potential buyers. I don't know who your clientele base is and all. So let's talk about that.
Yeah, so we have special deals from the various vendors on the platform. So
already on the platform. So you need to sign on to the platform.
No, so for the customer, someone who's coming to buy, they would get deals, like discount deals, like maybe from CompuGhana, like that kind of thing, right? And then we also have a 10% discount for all the participants of the housing fair who want to sign up and be on the platform.
See how I lit up when you said 10%? Yeah. I like discounts also. Yeah, all right. So I'll give you guys each a minute, and I want you to speak directly to our audience. Tell them to come and meet you at the EcoBank Joy News Habitat Fair, and whatever you have in store for them, tell them. Delphine, I want to start with you.
Okay, so hello, lovely people. It's nice to talk to you directly, to give me the platform. So it's your event here. As you know, we are the leading security door company in town now. And in the country, not just in town, in the whole Ghana, we have branches everywhere. And as you know, we deal in Turkish and Italian premium security doors. And now we don't just deal in security doors. We have all types of doors, be it the main entrance, the single doors, the double doors, the 1.5 doors, the internal doors, and even your washroom doors. We give you varieties. So when in terms of doors, you get to your event, we've got you covered. We have all the sizes, the 7 feet, the extended ones, and all. And we give free installation. You just told me you like freebies, so let me give it to you. We give free installation, free delivery, and our pre-installation checks are also free. So
all you pay for is the actual product?
Yes.
That's it?
Just purchase a door and enjoy all the freebies that it comes with.
Okay, now let's
for our fair attendees, we have a special discount for you, which wouldn't be disclosed yet. So please attend the fair and enjoy the discounts on the doors.
I want people to find information on you when they need it. So let's talk about your web page. Let's talk about web address. Let's talk about your social media handles. And if there's a contact, you can put it out there.
Right. So now we are everywhere. We are everywhere. We are in Accra. In Accra, we have about 4 branches. Our head office is at Oyarifa New York First. Oyarifa New York First. And then we are at Adenta Fafraha. We are in McCarthy Hill Junction. We are also at Tema Afi Nyamata Eko. In Kumasi, we have about 2 branches. We are in Bantama, we are at Pankrono. In Koforidua, we have 2 branches. And we are in Takrady too as well.
You are everywhere.
Yes, we are everywhere. Our contact details, so 0207 136 743, 0207 136 743, 023 189 0007, 023 189 0007. And our page, our website is www.yobent.com. We can't say it without mentioning social media. So on social media, it's Yobent Security Doors GH.
Delphina, you've taken all my time.
IG, TikTok, and everywhere. So we're expecting you.
So Yobent Security, everywhere they can find you. Mr. Eli, I'll come to you. Syntax, I'm saving you for last. Okay. You know why? You're the sponsor of my show. Mr. Seno, let me find out from you. I mean, your brand and what we are doing with the EcoBank Journeys Habitat Fair is on theme, you know? We are looking to connect those who are looking for houses and everything housing to the people who have those solutions. But why did you decide to come aboard? Why did you decide to come aboard as a sponsor or exhibitor?
I think yesterday on Prime Morning, I mentioned that there's an adage in Tree that says, "You're off-road, you are part of my piano." And I think, yes, but the listeners understand. And so I think multimedia is doing a good thing by putting this together, you know, group of legit companies, right? Because there's so much fraud in the system.
Yeah.
So if you have legitimate people congregating, it's always good to support such an initiative because it aligns with what we do.
Okay. So now let's talk about the details, your contact information, where to find you, where you're located and all that. And whatever goodies await our audience when they come to you on 25th.
So first of all, I'll say that Landlord Africa is here for the tenant and the potential landlord who's now a tenant and then the landlord. So if you're a tenant and you want a place to rent, you can come onto the website. If you are looking for land to buy, we can help you get financing. So you don't need to get a mortgage for a whole house. It's cheaper to get financing for your land. You secure the land, build gradually, have flexible payment terms for building materials. If you're a landlord, we help you get tenants. It's that simple. Now, to find us, we are at Airport City within the Atlantic Towers.
Okay.
Phone number is 054-5413-232. And the website is www.landlordafrica.com. And our social media handles across all platforms is at Landlord Africa.
Okay. I asked, but I don't know if you answered. Do you need to sign on to your platform before you can access the services you provide?
No, so it's, you don't need to sign on to browse, right? But if you want to transact, if you want to rent and all that, then you register. If you want to be a vendor, you register. But if you're just checking it out, browsing, you don't need to.
You don't need to register. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much. Okay. Now, Mr. Patrick Bono, Syntex tank. If your tank doesn't have the tortoise on it, it's not the correct tank.
The correct one.
We all know that there are amazing goodies awaiting us at the second clinic when it comes to Syntex tank. But I also want to give you the chance to invite our audience directly.
All right.
Let's go.
Thank you for this opportunity once again. We are known for producer of quality tanks. But as I said earlier, we have quality pipes now as we have launched. And we are expecting our viewers to pass by to see what we have. We have pressure pipes, we have electrical conduits, we have borehole pipes. When they pass by, any question that they have in terms of technical questions, we give them answer. And then we have amazing discounts for the tanks. But for the pipes, the price is so cheap. Though it's very quality, but it's very cheap. And that is helping us to penetrate into the market. For our number is 0244 335168. The whole Ghana, we have our distributors. If you are far from Spinters or Selma, you can pass by any of our distributors to buy our products. And then on social media, we have Synthes Ghana, and you can shop directly online using synthesgh.com.
All right. Thank you so much for coming. And I'll be seeing all of you on the 25th in Tema, EcoBank office at Tema. Those who join us for this conversation, Patrick Pono is a sales manager at Syntex Tank. We also have the sales and marketing executive from Yoben Security Doors, and she is Delphina Boahima, and of course, Mr. Eli Senu. He is the commercial director for landlordsafrica.com. So make a date with us and come to the Tema EcoBank office on the 25th, 26th, and 27th of July 2025 for the second clinic of the EcoBank Joy News Habitat Fair. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having us.
Now, before I pop off, I want to remind you to make your dream home a reality with EcoBank. Step into your ideal home or transform your current space into one that truly reflects your style and comfort, all with the support from EcoBank. EcoBank has once again partnered with Joy News to bring you an exciting experience at Joy News Habitat Fair. This year's edition makes your journey to a comfortable, modern home even more accessible and affordable. With EcoBank's Buy Now, Pay Later, you can easily renovate, upgrade, or furnish your home to suit your taste and lifestyle. Whether it's elegant home decor, modern furniture, essential electronics like laptops, phones, or solar energy solutions, EcoBank has the right financing tailored to your lifestyle. From staying connected with the latest devices to embracing sustainable living, our flexible consumer loans, assets finance, and salary advance products are all designed to help you bring your vision to life. You want to enjoy that competitive interest rate, convenient repayment terms, and fast approval from a bank that understands your needs. Visit our stand and take the first step towards the home and lifestyle you deserve. Comfortable home starts with EcoBank. Be part of it. EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank. Samuel Kojo Brace and I, Sweetie Abochi, are your hosts for the AM show. And thank you so much for staying with us. And it's a wrap for the Tuesday edition of the show. We're back tomorrow from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. But for now, Mamiesi Nyameche Thompson serves you Joy News Desk. Bye for now.